Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A dramatic Sunday with radio's outstanding theater of thrills, suspense, Donovan's Brain, starring Orson Welles, along with Boston Blackie starring Dick Kollmar, Sergeant Preston of the Utah and the Bengal Tiger, Tyrone Power in Freedom USA, and we'll wrap it all up with an episode of Lum and Abner. That's all coming up here on this Sunday. This is the 18th day of May, 138th day of the year. We have 227 days remaining in 2025.
Started really pluming up out of the mountain itself. Very gray, brown ash, just very wide and solid. Almost looked like the core of a hydrogen bomb or an atom bomb plume going up the way it was boiling.
At 8:32 in the morning on this date in 1980, Mount St. Helens, a volcanic peak in southwestern Washington, suffered a massive eruption, 57 killed and devastating some 210 square miles of wilderness. That day, Major David Mullen of the Air Force Reserves described the devastation.
Just miles and miles and miles of devastation. It looks like an atomic bomb just totally leveled the area.
The Mount St. Helens eruption on this date back in 1980. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln, a one-time congressman from Illinois, nominated for the presidency by the Republican National Convention meeting in Chicago, Hannibal Hamlin of Maine nominated as vice president. In a major victory for supporters of racial segregation, Supreme Court ruled on this date in 1896, 7-1, that a Louisiana law providing for equal but separate accommodations for the white and colored races on its railroad train was constitutional. The High Court held that as long as equal accommodations were provided, segregation was not discrimination and thus didn't deprive African Americans of equal protection under the law as guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. Apollo 10 took off from Cape Canaveral, carrying astronauts Eugene Cernan, Thomas Stafford, and John Young on this date in 1969. It was the last mission to circle the moon before Apollo 11 put men on the moon. The veteran astronauts expressed delight after their liftoff.
Just like old times. It's beautiful out there. You guys sound ecstatic. Man, this is the greatest journey. Fantastic, babe, really.
Apollo 10 taking off on this date back in 1969. In 2000, a bill was passed that removed the Confederate flag from the South Carolina State House. 2004, Sonia Gandhi stunned her party, the Indian National Congress, by refusing to accept the Prime Ministership of India. Number one song on this date in 1974, it was, I was still in high school, belonged to the Irreverent Ray Stevens, The Streak. Passing away on this date in history, I should say, Leroy Anderson, the wonderful composer, Dawes Butler, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, passing away. Also, Elizabeth Montgomery of Bewitched. Davy Boy Smith passing away. Roger Ailes of Fox News. Ken Osmond, Eddie in the Leave It to Beaver television show. And Charles Grodin, all passing away on this date. Birthdays today include, oh my goodness, we're digging into some real old-time stuff here. The wonderful director of It's a Wonderful Life and Arsenic and Old Lace, Frank Capra. Also from The Music Man, Meredith Willson, with 2 L's, in case you didn't know. Also, the man who sang about Corina and Shake, Rattle, and Roll, Big Joe Turner. Perry Como, born on this date. Pope John Paul II. Kai Winding, a wonderful musician. He was Walter in Maud, and he was also in Old Calcutta. That sounds weird. Bill Macy, born on this date. Adam Cartwright of Bonanza. He was also in Trapper John M.D. Pernell Roberts. Robert Morse. That's Life, Jack Frost, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, born on this date. Dobie Gillis, Dwayne Hickman, Also Superfly Jimmy Snuka, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
A lot of musical birthdays today, including Albert Hammond, 81 years old. It never rains in Southern California. Rick Wakeman of Yes and Roundabout. All my exes live in Texas beyond the blue neon. George Strait, 73 today. The lady who sang about toy soldiers, Martika, 56 years old today. Jack Johnson is 50 years old today. Let's go to people who aren't musicians, including Tina Fey, who is 55.
No, I'm not an executive. Executives are like, oh, and I'm like, oh.
Tina Fey turning 55 today. The Blue Meanie, Brian Heffron, pro wrestler, 52. He had some funny stuff in the day. And from Man with a Plan, Hala Finley is 16. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 18th day of May is their birthday. If this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you.
Let's get started on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, going back 81 years to May 18th, 1941. Orson Welles starring in Donovan's Brain.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year's traffic death toll was 37,500, a 7% increase over 1950. The National Safety Council believes that the best way to promote safety on the road is for each of us to know and obey traffic laws, to read and heed traffic signs. So be careful. The life you save may be your own.
Suspense did not often do two-part episodes, but when they did, they were usually outstanding, and this is one of those. Orson Welles, starring in an adaptation of Donovan's Brain, going back 81 years to May 18th, 1944.
Roma Wines present Suspense. Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Salud. Your health, senor.
Roma Wines toast the world. The wine for your table is Roma Wine, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the Man in Black, here to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight from Hollywood, we bring you as star Mr. Orson Welles. This will be the first of two consecutive performances by Mr. Welles, in which he will appear as the protagonist of Kurt Siodmak's novel, Donovan's Brain. The producer of Suspense and its sponsors, the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, feel that this story is so unusual that it merits more than our usual time. So in somewhat of a departure from established radio formulas, we will bring you the story of Donovan's Brain in two parts. Part one you will hear tonight, and part two next Monday night at this same time.
Before we take you to the scene of our drama, let's take a little journey of a different kind. We'll let a bottle of Roma wine serve as Aladdin's lamp. I touch the label, and presto, we are all transported to that capital of gaiety, Havana, Cuba. And now we find ourselves in the charming Pan American Club. At a table nearby, an American has just voiced his delight at the uncommon beauty of the scene. And then his Cuban companion responds, "But you in America also have much that is uncommon to boast of, such as this marvelous tasting wine we are enjoying this minute. To enjoy uncommon fine quality, Cuba imports this wine from your own distant California. It is your superb Roma wine. Now just realize what it means when other countries import Roma wines from such great distances. Such international esteem must mean that Roma wines are truly magnificent in quality. And then consider this. You here in America need pay no high import duty, no expensive shipping charges. For these fine Roma wines come from Roma's own wineries in the heart of the rich California wine grape districts. Because so many Americans do realize this good fortune, Roma wines are America's largest selling wines. So why deny yourself this taste delight? Try an inexpensive bottle of tangy, appetizing Roma Sherry, or the hearty Roma Burgundy, or any of the marvelously enjoyable Roma wines. But remember, these days your favorite dealer may be temporarily out of the type you prefer. Then please try again. Ask for R-O-M-A, Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
And now with part one of Donovan's Brain, and with the performance of Orson Welles as Dr. Patrick Corey, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
As I sit now outside my laboratory door writing under the heading Experiment 87 this final entry in my casebook, I know that these are the last words I shall ever write upon this earth. I neither ask nor expect forgiveness now or hereafter. But for those who seek some explanation, I refer them simply to this casebook. Let them read it carefully from its first entry on that ill-starred day of July the 13th. July 13th. Today I bought a small Capuchin monkey from an organ grinder. The animal trembled with fear when I took it into my laboratory, and when I tried to pet it, it bit me. I had to make it trust me completely. Fear causes an excess secretion of adrenaline, resulting in an abnormal condition of the bloodstream which would throw off my observations, so I fed it, and finally the creature voluntarily crept up into my arms, uttering little whimpers of content. When it laid its head against my shoulder, I stabbed it with a surgical lancet. It died instantly. Well, David, what do you think of it?
Well, it's pretty amazing, all right.
See what I've done, don't you?
I think so.
You think so? Good Lord, don't you know?
Well, after all, Dad, I'm only a second-year medical
student. I know, but what of it I was a second-year student? Who is it?
It's me, Janice.
Come in, darling.
Patrick, Dr. Schrott is here to see you.
Oh, come on in, Doctor.
You know our son David, of course.
Yes, of course. How are you, my boy?
Fine, thanks, Doctor.
Well, Patrick, hard at it as usual, I see.
Patrick, you didn't eat the lunch I sent in to you.
Well, what is it this time, Patrick?
A brain.
What?
A brain, a monkey's brain.
Oh.
What about the brain, Patrick?
I've been trying to see how long I can keep the tissue alive.
Oh, is that it in that jar?
There's considerably more to it than just a jar, though. Want to see how it works?
Is it still alive?
In a way, yes. It's a fairly simple device, actually, Doctor. Variation on Corell's mechanical heart. The brain lies in a bath of blood serum. These rubber arteries are fixed to the vertebral and internal carotid arteries of the brain. The blood substance is forced through the cycle of Willis to feed the tissue. Over here, I've installed a small rotary pump that forces the blood circulation, you see?
But how do you know it's alive?
It's very easy to determine. The brain, when functioning, gives off infinitesimal electrical impulses. They can be measured. As a matter of fact, I've hooked the encephalograph up to a small amplifying system. The brain impulses can actually be heard. Here, I'll turn it on. You see? Quite effective, isn't it?
Yes, it's effective. And it's wrong, Patrick. Terribly wrong.
I've tried to tell him, Dr. Schrott.
In heaven's name, what's wrong with it?
Oh, Patrick, you and your mechanistic philosophy, trying to reduce life to a mere matter of chemicals and test tubes. The origin of life is from a higher domain than that, Patrick. And you're profaning.
Nonsense. You can't stop the progress of science. Every discovery of whatever kind is a step forward. If I can prove that the brain can perform certain functions outside the body, who knows where we may be able to go from there?
Oh, Patrick, how do you know that thing in there doesn't feel pain? How do you know it isn't writhing in agony?
Brain tissue itself is insensitive, you know that. Just a feeling. Look, I'll switch on the encephalograph. See? There. Notice the faintness of the amplified alpha rays. Notice the comparatively slow rate of pulsation now. Notice what happens when I tap on the glass jar. See?
It feels. It thinks.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but it certainly shows marked reaction to an external stimulus.
I wouldn't have believed it possible.
The trouble with you, Schrott, is that you don't really believe in science.
Have it your own way, Patrick. That's when you can manufacture love and sympathy and kindness in a test tube. I'll be back.
You leaving, old boy?
Yes. Patrick. Do me a favor, Patrick. Shut off the pump and let that poor thing in there die.
Let it die? Huh. If it were within my power to grant, that little brain would live forever. July 18th. I'm utterly exhausted from lack of sleep, but the events of the past 5 days have been of such tremendous importance that I must set them down while every last detail is still fresh in my mind. I've had no time to make an entry in this record since that day last week. It seems a month ago now when I had my first partial success with the brain of the Capuchin monkey. At that time, however, it seemed that I was doomed to disappointment. In spite of all my efforts, the brain of the monkey ceased to live at 12:14 that night. Tired and disheartened, I lay down to sleep on the cot in my laboratory, but at that very moment, fate was contriving an occurrence which now seems destined to have the most profound effect not only upon my own existence, but perhaps upon that of all mankind. Hello? Hello, what is it?
Dad.
Oh, David, come in. What's the matter?
It's Dr. Schrott. There's been an accident or something. He's pretty upset.
All right, I'll come.
Oh, Patrick, thank heavens, my boy.
What's the matter, boy?
There's been a plane crash on the mountain. Only one of them was left alive, and I've brought him this far, but he needs an immediate operation.
Sorry, that's your job, your county physician.
Patrick, it's multiple fractures of both legs. The arteries are severed, and the legs will have to be amputated.
Huh? You're not in any shape to do the job.
Well,
Well, that's not my fault. Take him to the Phoenix Hospital. I'm not going to take responsibility.
It's too far. We'd never get there in time. Patrick, please. It may mean a man's life, and
your job as county physician.
No, I'm not thinking of that, but it's an important man. William H. Donovan.
Donovan? The Wall Street Donovan?
Yes. You've got to help me, Patrick.
Donovan. What are his chances?
About even, if we hurry.
Well, bring him in.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
You'd better get some things on, David. You may have to help. Yes, and we'll use the laboratory table. Before you go, put the instruments in the sterilizer. And don't forget the Geely saw.
Right. Oh, but...
But what?
I thought the Geely saw was only used for
brain surgery. Not always. Hurry. They'll bring him in now from the car.
Okay, Dad.
In here.
Careful now.
That's right. Easy does. Around the table, please.
Yes, Doctor. Easy.
You better get yourself a gown and gloves, Doctor, right over there. You won't have time to scrub.
Yes, thanks, Doctor.
Too bad, isn't he? Pulse rapid. Heart very faint.
I wasn't sure.
David,
yes,
half
Dad.
cc of adrenaline, David, 1 to 1,000 intravenous.
Right.
You men can go now.
Is there anything else we
No,
can do?
thank you.
Patrick, don't you think...
I'd rather we were alone if you don't mind, gentlemen.
Yes.
Good night, then, Dr. Schrott. Doctor.
Good night.
Good night. Now, David, if you remove the blanket from his legs, that's it. All right.
You see? Fortunately, a forest ranger got to him right after the crash and had sense enough to put a tourniquet on each leg. Even so, yeah.
Sure. We'll get it. Sure.
What's he saying?
Something like, sure. He said it over and over.
I hadn't realized he was deformed.
It doesn't show as much in his pictures. Patrick, don't you think we ought to begin?
There's no use amputating those legs.
No use?
He'll be dead anyway by morning. Well, won't it?
Well, suppose you're right, Patrick.
You know I'm right.
But still, we ought to try. We can't refuse to operate just
We are
because...
going to operate. Syringe, please, David, the large one.
Here you are, Dad.
Spinal anesthetic. Will you give it, Dr. Schrott?
Right.
Scalpel, please, David. Scalpel and the Geely saw.
Geely saw? Patrick.
Well...
No, Patrick, I won't let you.
After your performance tonight?
Well, I have... But, Patrick, he's still alive.
Precisely. My mistake with the monkey was that he was dead. I don't intend to make that mistake again. Come on, David,
Patrick,
the scalpel.
Patrick, are you out of your mind? You're taking a man's life.
I'm giving him life. Donovan would die anyway. But for a while at least, Donovan's brain will live.
We'd better hurry. They'll be coming for the body pretty soon.
You can go now, David.
I think I will, then.
You understand, of course?
Yes, I understand.
Not a word to your mother or to anyone.
I understand.
Did you put something in the skull cavity
Oh,
so
yeah.
the eyes won't fall?
I filled it with cotton, bandaged the whole cranium. It looked like any head injury.
I hope nobody gets any ideas about an autopsy.
You're the coroner. You can stop that. Look, Schrott. This is a chance that comes once in a lifetime. William Donovan had one of the greatest minds, has one of the greatest brains in the world today.
And now you have it. It's
Turn on the
madness, Patrick.
encephalograph. Simple
alpha waves, of course, no different from the monkeys. You can't take a human brain out of its body and expect it to function.
I suppose not, but... Trot, did it ever occur to you that the brain might simply be asleep?
Asleep?
Certainly. An operation like that is a severe shock. Tap on the glass.
Good Lord, Patrick.
Delta waves. It was asleep. You woke it up.
It's actually conscious.
You see, the three of us conducting this experiment now. You, and me, and William Horace Donovan. July 25th, I moved my bed into the laboratory, but I've scarcely slept in 6 days. There's been no longer any doubt that the brain responds like a sensitive seismograph to vibrations near it, including the sound of my voice. Yet I found no method of communication with it. I've devised a simplified Morse code consisting of taps on the glass container, together with voice vibrations. Perhaps I can teach the brain. July 30th, Schrott has come to stay with me, half out of a feeling that he shares with me a common guilt, half out of scientific curiosity. I've scarcely seen him, and both David and Janice have been avoiding me, not that I really care. They've been tapping out my code on the side of the brain's container endlessly, day and night, over and over, 1,000 times, so that a baby could learn it, if the brain can learn. I sleep only when the brain itself falls into exhausted slumber. When it wakes again, I resume my tapping. Come on, get up, hurry! Come on, I want to show you something.
Something the matter?
Yes, old boy, I want to show you something.
Patrick, you look like a ghost. Where are we going?
Back to the laboratory. I can't believe it myself. I may have been dreaming delirious.
What's happened?
Come on. You hear that? Delta waves.
Seems disturbed.
You've got to check my observations for me. If my reasoning is wrong, tell me. I can't be sure of anything anymore.
Yes.
Now listen carefully. You'll know that I've been trying to communicate with the brain in code now. If I were able to cause a distinctive pattern of the brain's delta waves by a specific command in code, if the brain responded with the same pattern of sound each time I issued the command, it would prove that I'd succeeded in communicating with the brain, wouldn't it?
Yes, Patrick, I think it would.
Now, listen. Donovan, if you understand, think 3 times of the word talk. 3 times. Talk. Talk. Talk.
It answered. It spoke.
Then I'm right.
It's true. This thing has learned to talk. To talk.
July 31st. Schrott is romanticizing, of course. The delta pattern is so infinitely complex that it would be utterly impossible ever to break it down into specific words, yet that it understands me, that it's trying to communicate with me, is certain. Schrott suggests mental telepathy, that I try to make my mind a blank, as the mediums call it, while at the same time increasing the energy content of the plasma that feeds the brain in the hope of stepping up the brain's electrical potential as one would step up the power of a radio station. Naturally, telepathy is nonsense, but the feeding theory intrigues me. I shall try it. August 12th. Noticed today for the first time 2 distinct nodules of new brain cells on the frontal lobex. Electrical potential is increased to 510 microvolts. I've begun smoking cigars. Although I've always hated cigars before. Nerves, I expect. August 22nd, nodules still growing. Electrical potential 1450, but no observable results. Lately felt a compelling urge to know more of Donovan's life and have collected every available scrap of information about him. A strange man he was. Strange, ruthless, actually evil in many ways, but nonetheless an extraordinarily brilliant mind.
Sure. Here will be the test. You agree? Of course. Sure.
Patrick, wake up! Patrick!
What is it?
What
happened here?
I thought I ought to wake you up, Patrick. You were moaning in your sleep, talking.
Talking? What did I say?
I'm not sure, but your voice was so strange that...
Janice, what's the matter?
It's nothing. I was dreaming, that's all. Janice woke me up.
Patrick, let me see your hand.
Hand? What do you
No,
see
the
my
other
hand
one.
for? What about it?
You're not left-handed, are you?
No.
Then why have you got ink on the fingers of your left hand?
Well, I don't know.
Were you writing anything tonight?
No.
You must have been, Patrick. Here it is, right here on your desk.
Nonsense. Wait, let me see it.
Oh, you've been writing his name, William H. Donovan.
H. Donovan Schrott. That's not my handwriting. It's...
What?
Don't you see what it means? The brain has communicated with me.
Patrick, you don't...
Look here. Look at this magazine article. Here's a reproduction of his signature. And he was left-handed, too. It says so here.
Why, it is. It is exactly the
What
same.
a fool I've been. Look at this picture, smoking a cigar. With his left hand. I wondered why it suddenly started smoking cigars. The same brand, too. Janice, try to remember what you heard me saying just before you woke me up. Come on, Janice. Think.
Patrick, I can't believe...
Think, Janice.
All I heard was something like... Sure.
Sure. Of course. Don't you remember, Schrott? He said it that night. It was the only thing we ever heard him say. It was an expression of his. It tells about that in one of the articles, too. Yes, there it is.
It wasn't your voice,
It wasn't my voice. You see, the brain has grown. And it's strong enough to influence not only the higher functions, the frontal lobe, but the speech centers, the motor centers of another brain.
Patrick, if this is true, then your experiment has been successful. It's ended.
Ended? Oh, it's only begun.
Patrick!
Don't you see what this means?
Patrick, listen to me.
Oh, what, Janice, what?
You've got to stop.
Stop!
I can't stand it any longer. Can't you see where it's led you? When you cut yourself off from your family, when you neglected your health, began having fits of temper, and were like someone I hardly recognize as the man I married. All that I tried to understand. But don't you see what you've done? You are a murderer, Patrick, a murderer.
Janice, darling.
David told me the whole thing. That poor boy's half insane himself from worry.
Insane? What do you mean by that?
What I say. You killed Donovan.
Janice,
Maybe he wouldn't have lived anyway. But you killed him. And now this thing has gained such power over your mind that it can make you do things you don't even know about. For all you know, it could make you do anything. Anything. You've got to choose, Patrick.
Oh, Janice, please. I suppose you're right, but I'm utterly exhausted. I can't even think anymore.
You've got to think.
Give me until tomorrow. Let me sleep, and then tomorrow I'll do something. I promise you.
All right, Patrick.
Tomorrow.
But if you don't do something, if you don't destroy that thing, I will. The brain.
It's almost as though it heard you and were raging at you.
This way, please, Dr.
Come
Corey.
on, darling.
But, Patrick, why are we going in here? A psychiatric clinic?
I told you I'd do something, Janice. I've got an idea.
You mean you're You're having yourself psychoanalyzed.
Well,
Something like that.
something like that. I'll tell you about it later. First, I want you to talk to this man alone.
Dr. Zanger, this is Dr. Corey.
Oh, how do you do, Dr. Corey?
How do you
I've heard
do,
something
Dr.
of
Zanger?
your work.
Oh, yes.
And this is Mrs. Corey.
Of course, excuse me.
I'm happy to meet you, Mrs. Corey.
Thank you, Doctor.
Won't you come into my office?
I will certainly. Janice, would you mind, darling, waiting in the reception room? I'll be out in just a moment.
Why, certainly, dear.
In here, please, Doctor.
Very well.
Doctor, she seems quite normal. I'd expected from what you told me on the telephone.
I know. I can assure you, I hate to tell you this, but, Doctor, she's quite insane.
I see.
Yes, paranoia. She's always been, jealous of my work. And, well, last little while she's got a delusion that she thinks I've made some kind of a monster up in my laboratory that controls my mind and controls my actions. So I'm putting her completely in your hands.
Oh, well, it's of course a little unusual, but since you are yourself a medical man...
That's right.
You definitely wish to commit her then, huh?
Yes. You have the papers.
Oh, yeah, here you are. Just your signature will be enough, Doctor.
There you are. You let me know about everything, won't you?
Oh, naturally, Doctor. We keep you informed.
Thank you.
Well, goodbye then, Dr. Corey. We will do what we can.
Oh, right.
Patrick?
Mrs. Corey is staying with us, Miss Wilcox.
Yes, Dr. Zanger.
Patrick? Come back! Patrick!
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Corey. Just come with me, please.
Patrick!
No.
Where are you going? Let me go! Let me go!
Oh, Dr. Corey?
Yes?
Oh, about the bill, how do you wish it to be handled?
The bill? The bill? Sure. I'll take care of it by the week. The checks will be signed William H. Donovan. Sure. August 20th. It's nearly 3 weeks now since Janice went away. I can't understand how she could have left me just when I needed her most. When I try to question Schrott or David about it, they only look at me strangely and change the subject. Clearly, they too now are in on the conspiracy. Sometimes it seems the only person I can trust is Donovan. The brain communicates with me more freely now each day. I know it has some great plan in mind for me, for both of us. I'm waiting, patiently waiting. Donovan, I'm listening, Donovan. Don't be angry, Donovan. I'm trying to understand. I'm listening, Donovan. I'm listening. I'm listening. Sure. Sure.
And so closes Donovan's Brain, Part 1, the first of 2 half-hour presentations of Kurt Siodmak's story, presenting Orson Welles as star of Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by William Spear.
We sincerely hope you enjoyed the performance of Orson Welles and that of the whole cast tonight in our Roma suspense play. and that you'll make a note to be sure not to miss the completion of this story next week. The Roma Wine Company would like to express its thanks for the many letters of appreciation from listeners which we are constantly receiving saying how much you enjoy these broadcasts. And here's a thought. To discover the enjoyment these suspense programs offer, you first had to sample one. And so you must first sample one of the many delicious Roma wines to discover for yourself their wonderful taste and quality, the excellence that makes Roma America's largest selling wines. You'll discover, as have other millions before you, that Roma wines are super quality, are super tasting, and are super easy on your pocketbook, too, costing only pennies a glass. Be sure you get R-O-M-A, Roma wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
The greatest and most profitable investment you can make in your country's future is to buy war bonds. Don't forget, then, next Monday, you will hear Part 2 of Donovan's Brains, starring Orson Welles, in the completion of this remarkable tale of suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And next Sunday, we will have the second half of Donovan's Brain here on Classic Radio Theater. This was an episode of Suspense 81 years ago, May 18th, 1944. Coming up next on Classic Radio Theater, Dick Kollmar as Boston Blackie.
Instead of going down, the annual rate of polio cases in this country is going up. Instead of growing panicky with fear in the face of such an unwelcome fact, there is a way in which we all can join the Army which is fighting to check this trend and ultimately defeat infantile paralysis. We can contribute to the March of Dimes. Give today so that the 1952 March of Dimes will be the biggest ever and a really potent fighting force against polio.
We continue now on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Dick Kollmar starring as Boston Blackie. This episode from 76 years ago, May 18th, 1949, is the Imperial Oil Company Racket.
Let go of me, will you? Let go. Hold his arms, Homer. No, tight out. That's right.
Okay, Count, I'm holding Smitty's arms. What do I do now?
You don't do anything. I do it. There.
Hey, Count, why are you hitting Smitty?
Because he's a stupid, blundering fool.
What'd you do, Smitty? Bring the Count some flowers and make him sneeze?
It has nothing to do with that. I sent him to see a customer. There was somebody else in the room, and he started to tell her about our stock venture. And that somebody else was Boston Blackie.
Boston Blackie?
Yeah, she called him Blackie. But maybe it wasn't the same guy. I never seen Boston Blackie. I've been out of town for 5 years.
Silence! There's only one Blackie. That was bad enough, but you ran away. You left that stock issue in her house. That was unpardonable. Unpardonable.
No, Count, no.
Step away from him, Homer.
No, don't shoot, please. Don't shoot. Don't.
He's dead, Count.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Take care of Boston Blackie. Permanently.
Some of the hot rod boys are in town. There's Killer Monahan.
No.
Torpedo Thompson.
No.
You got somebody special in mind for this job?
Yes. Just a minute. Come in, Olivia.
But of course.
But Dave. And she's going to take care of Boston Blackie?
What's the matter? Don't you think I can take care of Boston Blackie?
It's smooth, and you're sure it's pure.
That, my friends, was the voice of a man, an enthusiastic friend of CV, describing what he likes about champagne velvet, the beer with the $1 million flavor. You, too, will find that CV is smooth from foam to finish. More than that, from your first sip of the rich, creamy foam that billows on top of your glass, right down to that last delicious drop, you'll find CV bright and sparkling, light and lively, with a clear, clean taste that makes you sure it's pure and stamps it as a beer of real premium quality. Premium quality that costs you no premium in price.
Yes, sir, it's smooth. Just as smooth, and you're sure it's pure. There is no finer beer.
Hey, Nelson.
How is it?
How's it going? Handing it out? Millions of stock certificates.
Yeah. Hey, what's eating you?
Oh, nothing.
Ah, come on, stop giving her the stall. What's the matter?
Smitty put Boston Blackie on our trail.
Holy jumping Jehoshaphat. Does the count know?
Yeah.
And that's the end of Smitty, I suppose.
The count is dumping his body right now.
So why should it worry you, as long as it ain't your body?
Not bothering me, it's just...
I know, you're the delicate type.
Shut your mouth, Nelson.
Did I hurt your feelings?
I said to shut up.
Yeah, I can talk all I want.
What is the meaning of this? Stop it.
Sorry, Count.
I will not have this. Get back to work, the both of you. I need more stocks. More do you hear? More!
Come on, Blackie, hurry up.
Okay, Mary, I'll be right with you. Just trying to do something with this darn cold of mine.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to get downtown to buy some of that perfume that's on sale before there's none left.
Okay, now, I'm ready to get...
Are you expecting anyone?
No. I'll get rid of whoever it is in a hurry.
Oh, good.
Oh, excuse me. You're Boston Blackie.
That's right, and if you guess who the man next door is, you get a big fat jackpot. Wish you luck.
Well, wait a minute, Blackie. Don't close the door on me. Tell me, do I look like you?
If you look like me, the jackpot wouldn't be much compensation.
Blackie, this is no game.
So?
Some crook mistook me for you.
Huh?
That's right.
Come in.
Well, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were busy.
This is Miss Wesley. Who are you?
Anthony Dalton.
Oh, not a V, Dalton.
Yes, but don't hold that against me.
Okay. Now, what's this about somebody thinking you were me?
Well, first let me explain, please.
Yes, I'm waiting.
Thank you. Because of the color of my hair, I've been nicknamed Blackie.
Uh-huh.
They've called me that ever since I was a kid.
Really?
Okay, so you have the same name as I have.
That's right.
What's this about looking like me?
Well, it happened this morning.
That's too bad.
Mother was talking to some man in the living room.
Yeah.
And he said he was an investment broker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was trying to interest Mother in buying some shares of Imperial Oil.
Never heard of it.
Neither did Mother. And when she asked my advice, she called me Blackie. And the investment broker said, Blackie? Boston Blackie? And he ran out of the room.
Do you know who this character was?
No, Mother isn't very good with names, and she doesn't remember his. But, you see, when this fellow ran out of the house, he left one of the Imperial Oil shares. Oh, here it is.
Let me see it.
Yes, right there, see?
Imperial Oil Corporation.
That's it.
100 shares. Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
There's a little trademark on it here.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me who printed it anyhow. Look, Anthony, you stay here and keep Miss Wesley company, will you? I should be back in an hour.
Well, But Blackie, what about my perfume?
I'll pick up your perfume before I smell out this racket.
Olivia, my lovely creature, I think we ought to... Those flowers, Olivia. Take them off, please.
Oh, an allergy, hmm?
Yeah.
All right, there. Now,
Thank you.
you know, Bernard, this is one of the smoothest operations I've ever seen.
Why shouldn't it be? I'm smooth.
Your printing press for the phony oil stock in one building, your offices in the next building, and a sucker list that can keep you busy for quite a while. What a setup.
If Boston Blackie doesn't interfere.
That's where I come in.
Exactly. Now, Olivia, I'm counting on your magnetic beauty, your cleverness to trap Blackie.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
We must destroy him before he destroys us.
Mm-hmm.
Come in.
Here's that stuff you wanted, Count.
Thank you, Homer.
Hiya, ma'am.
Keeping you busy, Homer?
Yeah, but my evenings are kind of free if...
Homer! Keep your mind on business. I want you to run an errand for me.
But Nelson needs me next door. It takes two of us to operate that press.
I said I wanted you to run an errand for me. Now.
But, Count, what about that?
Careful, Homer. That's just a reminder. I must be obeyed. Take this stock and...
You know, Bernard, I've never really seen your stock certificate.
You're missing something. Here. Take a look.
Imperial Oil Corporation.
Nice, huh?
My, they're beautiful. Looks impressive.
It has to be to convince our customers.
Uh-huh. Bernard, I know now how we can get Boston Blackie and where.
Wonderful. Do we set a trap for him at his apartment?
No, he'll come to us. But I'm going to meet him halfway.
Acme printing press. Zip.
Sorry, Bud. We're not buying anything.
Somebody's already bought it. Recognize the stock?
No. Never seen it before.
You're a liar. Where's your boss?
He ain't around. And I don't know when he's coming back. You a cop?
The name's Boston Blackie.
Oh, the guy who's always butting in where he ain't wanted. Okay, I'll butt you out.
Nice trial, man.
Yeah. Okay, Blackie. This chair will take care of you.
Sorry, pal. I'd rather stand. You missed, sucker.
I want with this phone. Okay, Blackie, right in your face.
Uh-oh. Wrong number. But this is the right one.
Well, that was a beautiful right cross to the jaw.
What? Oh, who are you? And what are you doing here?
My name is Barton, Olivia Barton.
Oh, how do you do?
My mother bought this oil stock. It's not listed on the exchange, and, well, I think it's a phony.
How'd you know this was the place that printed it?
I saw the printer's trademark on the paper.
A good-looking gal with brains. Say, you're dangerous.
Well, thanks. Oh, who are you?
Boston Blackie.
Boston Blackie? Well, no wonder you can fight like that.
Well, thank you. Look, I have to call the police. This character ripped out the phone, and there must be one across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my gun.
Good.
You keep this mug covered until I get back. Then we'll go talk to your mother.
Thanks for the gun. I knew when I saw the trademark on the stock that you'd see it and come here. But you're not going anyplace, especially to call the police.
Oh, no. I want to phone the police about phony stocks, and I'm stopped by a phony dame. Oh, Miss Wesley, tell me now, how long do we sit around here waiting for Blackie to call? It's been 3 hours since he left.
Oh, Blackie must be in trouble, Mr. Dalton.
Oh, I don't
He
know.
always keeps a promise if he can.
Well, what can we do?
I don't know. Blackie took the stock certificate with him. Did you happen to notice what that trademark said? I saw it, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I never even saw it.
Well, can you remember anything about this man who sold the stock to your mother?
Oh, yes. Well, he had a heavy scar across the bridge of his nose.
Oh? Well, come on. We're going down to police headquarters.
Police headquarters?
Yes. We're going to look through the rogues gallery to see if you can pick out his picture. Sure was decent of Inspector Faraday to let us in here, Mr. Dalton, but what good has it done?
No good, Miss Wesley. I haven't seen any picture that resembles the man who tried to sell us the stock.
No, don't give up so easy. Now, there are still plenty of pictures.
Yes, I know, but it's so... Hey, wait a minute.
What?
This looks like him.
Oh?
The scar.
Scar?
Yeah, and now I remember. His mouth turned down at the edges, just like this man.
Oh, let's see who it is.
Yes.
Walter Smith, alias Smitty, confidence man, age 38.
Found anything yet?
Oh, Inspector Faraday, yeah. I think we've got the man who sold those stocks.
Yes,
the man
we
that
have,
Blackie
we
went
have.
to look for.
Oh, let's take a look at him.
Yeah, here it is. Walter Smith, alias Smitty. See, right there.
Oh, great.
One of my men picked him up in an alley a couple of hours ago, dead.
Oh, no,
Oh,
he wasn't.
no.
That's right.
Well, Inspector, have you checked his home where he lives? Maybe Blackie's there.
Sorry, Miss Wesley. We can't do that.
What do you mean you can't? You must. Blackie's in danger. I know it.
Look, Miss Wesley, this crook isn't a local hood. We have no idea where he lived. As for Blackie, we have no idea, period.
Listen for just a few seconds to a man who knows good beer and who likes champagne velvet, the beer with the $1 million flavor.
Bright and sparkling. Yes, sir. Light and lively. Yes, sir. Clear and clean. Yes, sir. There is no finer beer.
And that's a fact. Go where you will, pay what you will. No better beer than CV can be had at any price. No better beer than CV can be made at any cost. CV's famous formula provides for only the more costly premium quality materials. Then, CV's careful processing and controlled aging gives you a beer that you're sure is pure. CV's flavor will tell you all of that. You'll find it bright and sparkling from foam to finish, robust and full-flavored as a real honest-to-goodness beer should be. CV's flavor will tell you that you're enjoying a premium quality beer at no premium in price.
You're sure it's pure, and it's just as smooth.
And now, back to Boston Blackie. Count von Bernard, a phony nobleman and the smooth operator of a phony oil stock racket, kills his salesman, Smitty, when the latter says he might have seen Boston Blackie at the home of a prospective sucker. The Count enlists the services of Olivia Button to help trap Blackie. Through the trademark on the printed stock, Blackie is able to locate the press. There he meets Olivia, who tricks him into giving her his gun. In the meantime, Mary Wesley, worried about Blackie's disappearance, goes to police headquarters, where Smitty is identified from a rogues gallery picture. But Inspector Faraday tells Mary that Smitty is dead. As we return to our story, Blackie hears someone come into the room where he is being kept prisoner.
Blackie, you there?
Yeah. Who are you?
One of the Count's errand boys. The name's Homer. Blackie, how would you like to get out of here?
What's the angle?
I'm leveling with you, Blackie. All I want is the answer to one question.
Okay, shoot.
Were you with Mrs. Dalton when Smitty tried to sell her that oil stock?
Oh, no. That was her son, Anthony.
Well, why'd she call him Blackie?
That's his nickname on account of his hair.
Oh. If you stand up, I'll take those ropes off your hands.
Oh, they're already off. They've been off for an hour.
What?
But I couldn't get that door open. Why are you helping me, Homer?
Well, I owe the Count something for putting the slug on Smitty without giving him a chance to explain or prove anything.
I see.
Come on, I'll get you through that door and we'll be on our way.
Good.
Hold it a sec while I see if everything's okay.
All right.
Why, Homer, this is a surprise for you, isn't it? No, back into the room. Now go ahead, move before this gun goes off.
What are you doing here, Olivia?
I watched you sneak in and thought I'd wait for developments. Inside.
Well, if it isn't the double-dealing glamour gal.
That's right.
Do you still have my gun?
Yes, and I'm going to use it on Homer now.
No!
Poor Homer. Oh, well.
You know you've killed him.
I'm glad. You see, I tried to. Real hard.
Inspector Faraday, I've got a break on that Smitty killing. It sounded more like my door that was getting the break. All right, what's it all about, Roland? I examined the clothes the boys took from Smitty, and on the inside of his jacket sleeve, I found a cleaning mark. Good work, Roland. Have you located the tailor? Yep, he's outside. An old duck named of William Griffith. Good. He brought his records with him. We'll be able to find where Smitty was staying that way and get some action on this case. Great. Maybe we can get a lead on where Blackie is. Yes. I'm beginning to get worried. Huh? All right, bring in this Griffith, huh? Right.
All right, young man. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yes.
Won't you sit down here, Mr. Griffith?
Yes, thank you, son. I'm not as young as I think I am. Can't get around as fast as I used to. There was a time.
All right, I'll take your biography later. First, Mr. Griffith, I want to thank you for coming down ahead.
Oh, no thanks necessary. None at all. I'm always very glad. What? You're Inspector Faraday, aren't you? Yes.
That's right.
Yes, well, a man in your position should wear better clothes than that. Why, look at the cut of these lapels.
Let
these
go of
sleeves
there.
of yours. Why, who is your tailor, anyway? He should be put in jail.
Never mind about my clothes, Mr. Griffith. We're discussing a murder
mind
case.
About them.
Rollins, where's that cleaning mark?
What's that?
Sir,
What
sir. I cut it off the chute. All right.
Well,
This is your cleaning mark, isn't it, Mr. Griffith?
Well, let me see it.
All right, look fast.
Yes, it is. It is mine. Now, just a minute. I'll check against my customers. Well, I've always
this'll
kept
take 3
the
weeks.
finest kind of books because I... Oh, say, Inspector, I just got in a beautiful bolt of cloth.
Yeah, use it for a rug.
I could make you a beautiful suit. It would do things for you.
I don't want a
Believe me
beautiful
now,
suit.
Well, you sure could use one.
Look,
Here it is, yes. Walter Smith, 714 Clinton Street.
Inspector, this is it. All right, just a minute. I want to be sure.
What is that?
Mr. Griffith, this picture, does it look like the Walter Smith who's your customer?
Well, I can't tell for sure. Well, he isn't wearing one of my suits. I know one of my suits.
Never mind. Okay, Rollins, let's go.
Well, where are you going?
714 Clinton
There's
Street.
no sense in going there. Mr. Smith moved away from there 5 years ago.
Well, that's what...
Ran out on me owing a bill for $15. Never could find out where he moved to. Now I could make a suit for you.
No.
That would be the most... Well, say, if you do run into him, maybe you can collect that $15 from me.
Now I'll really look for him.
I'll give you a commission. Oh, better still, I'll make you a good suit. Like I said, you could use one.
Well, Blackie, I don't think you'll be getting out of those ropes in a hurry.
Where'd you learn to tie those knots, Olivia?
My father was a rope trick artist, but I've picked up a few tricks of my own.
So I noticed when you shot Homer.
It's all in a day's work.
Have you ever figured that someday you might be on the receiving end?
Blackie, a long time ago I decided never to worry about the future, just to try getting along from day to day. I get along.
Today, maybe. Tomorrow, I doubt.
I told you, Blackie, tomorrow takes care of itself.
Yeah, and the Count looks as if he can take care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he now, by the way?
Oh, he didn't think it would look neat if any of the customers came in and saw a body lying on the floor, so he's depositing it somewhere. And now, Blackie, no more questions.
Oh, I have lots more.
But I don't want to hear them. Your gun has been coming in mighty handy.
Now, shall I drop you at your apartment, West Wesley?
I don't know, Mr. Dalton. I'm frightened.
Oh, you are. Well, you want me to stay with you until you hear from Blackie, I suppose.
Suppose we don't hear. Do we just sit and wait?
What do you suggest?
Well, Blackie may be dead for all we know. I saw that trademark. If I could just remember the name. If I could only remember that name.
Well, it's about time you got back, Count. I was beginning to get worried.
I had to make sure the police wouldn't find Homer's body as quickly as they did Smitty's.
Good.
Now, what about Blackie?
He's in the next room, sleeping off a snack from his own gun. Now, if you don't mind, I'll take my money and be on my way.
You needn't worry about the 1,000.
I'm not worried, Bernard. It's just that I have other things to... Oh.
Are there any flowers in this apartment?
No, not that I know of.
Well, there must be. Miss Ellerty. Where are those
I
flowers?
tell you there aren't. Oh, wait a minute. That corsage I was wearing, the one you made me throw out. One of the flowers dropped on the floor.
Oh, shoot. Let's throw it out quickly.
All right. It's going out. There. Now, Bernard, I'll take that $50,000.
Not so fast, my dear. I do not relish the thought of losing you.
Well, all good things must come to an end. The $50,000, please.
As soon as Boston Blackie is disposed of, which will be within the hour, my dear.
Yeah, what is it?
Inspector Rollins is back.
You want to see him?
Yeah, send him in.
Yes, sir.
You want me, Inspector? Yeah, Rollins. Did you get the tailor back to his shop? Yes, sir, but he almost sold me a suit. Yeah, well, what... That's enough, Rollins. Yes, sir. We're still where we were when we started on this Smitty killing. No clues, no phone calls giving us a tip, and no Blackie. Yeah. That's what worries me. No Blackie. Well, Miss Wesley is kind of worried, too. I know, but I think she's doing something about it. Oh, what do you mean? And I put a man on her, Franklin. Oh? He called in before. Miss Wesley and this Dalton guy beat it in Dalton's car. He's keeping an eye on them, so at least they'll be okay. Wait a minute. Inspector Faraday.
Inspector, this is Franklin. I got some bad news.
And what happened?
You know I was trailing Miss Wesley and that Dalton guy?
That's right.
Well, I lost him.
Please, Mr. Dalton, drive as fast as you can.
That is exactly what I am doing, Miss Wesley.
Good.
But now, don't you think, though, that we should have stopped and called Inspector Faraday when you remembered the name on that trademark?
Well, I'm not sure that I remember the name, and the inspector would never forgive me for sending him on a wild goose chase.
Oh, now that's
so
all
please,
right.
Mr. Dalton, drive as fast as you can. If I am right, I want to be on time to help Blackie.
Hello, Blackie. I find this a very amusing situation. Laugh while you can, Count. It won't be for long. This is rich. You are my prisoner. I'm holding your gun that Olivia gave me. Your pockets are empty. The contents spread nicely on the floor in front of you, and you threaten me. I've been in worse spots than this. I don't doubt it. You know, Blackie, I've heard you can tell a man's character by the things he carries in his pockets. I can tell you're a character without looking in your pockets. At a time like this, you make bad jokes. Well, let's see what we have here on the floor. Keys, wallet, handkerchief, and this little package. What's in it, Blackie? Something I bought for a lady. A romantic. What's going on in there?
All right, the both of you inside.
Olivia, who are these people?
I caught them snooping around the presses. Nelson had just run across the street.
Pygmania.
All right, move.
All right. Mary, Anthony, what are you doing here?
Blackie, are you all right?
The fair lady comes to rescue her hero.
Blackie, this isn't the fellow who sold Mother the stock.
I know, Anthony. This is his boss, right? His ex-boss. And now this ex-boss will mark the spot where the three of you will die.
Now, wait a minute.
Olivia, which one would you like to practice on?
I'm making up my mind.
Say, while you're deciding, mind if I stand up before you shoot? I kind of cramped, slouched down in this chair. By all means, stand up. I want you to be comfortable when you die. Thanks. Oh, stepped on my package. Sorry, Mary. That was the present I stopped off and got for you.
Oh,
you wouldn't
no.
have had time to give it to her. As I said, Black... Shoot! I've decided to...
Oh, Bernard.
Don't move, Black. You shouldn't close your eyes when you sneeze, Count.
All right, Blackie.
Mary, grab Olivia. I've got the count.
I'll use his face on her head.
Oh, that was beautiful, Mary. Now, Blackie, look out for the count. I'll get the count. Shoot.
Pleasant dreams, Count. Pardon me, Mary. Still have him a cold. But that took care of him.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing he had a cold, Blackie.
That was no cold he had, Mary.
Huh?
He has an allergy to flowers. I overheard him sneezing after Olivia dropped a flower from her corsage.
Oh?
On my way over here, I dropped by and picked up your perfume, Roses of Romance, so I just stepped on the bottle.
Blackie, I never thought you'd be using perfume.
Helped me get my man, didn't it?
If you want a beer with flavor, a flavor that's delightfully different, try the $1 million flavor of Champagne Velvet Beer. It's just as smooth.
Now, there's a suggestion for the person who has yet to try Champagne Velvet. You'll find CV to be the smoothest, most mellow beer you ever tasted. More than that, you'll like its brightness, its sparkle, and the clear, clean taste that makes you sure it's pure. In addition, you'll enjoy the rich, robust, and full-bodied flavor that proves CV's premium quality. Premium quality that is yours to enjoy at no premium in price. That's why our enthusiastic friend says,
Try it. Just try CV and you'll agree there is no finer beer. You're sure it's pure, and it's just as smooth,
And now, here's a glimpse of what happens in next week's Boston Blackie adventure.
Go ahead, Henry.
Yes, Agatha.
What's the total?
285, 1042. That makes... Oh, we've made a net profit of $1,200 this month.
That's pretty good.
Isn't it? Now, when can we stop? You know, retire, like you said?
Not yet, Henry.
No.
I saw a couple of lonesome women up here today.
Oh, no.
And I'm just wondering which one of them you're going to marry.
I won't do it. 3 times is plenty. Please, Agatha, no more, please.
Henry, this will be the last time.
That's what you
then
said.
We'll have enough to retire.
I know, but...
Anybody home?
Oh,
we're in the kitchen, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Yeah, I seen your lights. Up kind of late, ain't you, Miss Canyon?
A little.
It's after midnight.
Well, Henry and me were just doing our book.
Yes, book.
Fine. Hope you got a lot of money.
Well,
See, I decided to get me a wife.
You have?
Yep, one of your rich guests. Her name's Catherine Sloan.
You've got big ideas for a fellow who just works here.
Oh, I don't figure on working no more.
You don't?
No, I decided to retire.
He's going to...
And live off your money.
Want a glass of water, Henry?
Well, no.
I'll get one for you.
I don't think you heard what I said, Miss Canyon.
I heard you, Tom.
Well, why should we give you money, Tom?
Well, you see, I know all about you two, and I decided...
Agatha, you hit Tom too hard. I think you broke his neck.
Yep, I did.
He's dead.
Yeah, I guess he is.
I know, but
that's only important to him, Henry.
Agatha.
Let's continue talking about what's important to us.
76 years ago, May 18th, 1949, Dick Kollmar as Boston Blackie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Okay, coming up on Monday, we will have Abbott and Costello from 1949, a 1946 episode of The Great Gildersleeve with Harold Perry, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis along with Fred MacMurray from 1953, the Screen Directors Playhouse production of Miss Grant Takes Richmond starring Lucille Ball from 1950. And then on Tuesday, we'll have an episode of Gunsmoke, Fort Laramie, both from 1956, a 1954 episode of The Six Shooter, satisfying your Western desires. And we'll wrap it all up with another Arch Obler's play, Crazy Town, from 1939. On Wednesday, we'll keep the focus on Miss Lucille Ball with an episode of My Favorite Husband from 1950. Also a 1950 episode of Our Miss Brooks and the Driver's License. And Phil Harris and Alice Faye also from 1950. We'll close it out with a 1949 episode of Archie Andrews and a TV set. The final Jack Benny show will be on Thursday from 1955, and the focus is on Mel Blanc during that episode. An episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse from 1949, Her Husband's Affair, starring Lucille Ball, a 1949 edition of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and a 1949 episode of Fred Allen. Friday, ending the week with more drama, including a horrifying episode of Escape from 1948, William Conrad as Leiningen in Leiningen versus the Ants. A 1948 episode of Counter Spy, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Edmund O'Brien. Oh yeah, we're going back to the early episodes from 1950, before Bob Bailey. And you'll hear a program from Chicago from 1945 called 5 After the Hour, and A Man Without a Face. And then next Saturday, we will have a Suspense episode from 1954. Agnes Moorehead stars in Weekend Special Death. A 1959 episode of Have Gun Will Travel starring John Dehner. Arch Obler's play is An Exercise in Horror from 1945. And Night Watch. Yes, before there was Cops, there was Night Watch. And then on Sunday next week, we will bring you again the second part of Donovan's Brain on Suspense. A 1958 episode of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar with Bob Bailey, The Midnight Sun Matter. An episode of the Lux Radio Theater from 1942, Test Pilot, starring Robert Taylor, Robert Preston, and Rita Hayworth. That's all what's coming up this week ahead here on Classic Radio Theater. We thank you for joining us. And up next, we'll head far north and see what's going on with Sergeant Preston of the Yukon.
Ladies and gentlemen, make tomorrow your D-Day. Get an extra bond for defense. Step into any bank or post office and buy yourself a profitable share in America's future. As an investment, bonds are better than ever. They can help you save safely, conveniently, and profitably. So whether you already buy on the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank, get an extra bond for defense tomorrow.
We go to the vault of our good friend Jerry Henshey, who provided us some time ago with this special edition of a program, Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. This goes back 71 years to May 18th, 1954, and the story of the Bengal Tiger.
Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, breaking the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers. On King! On, you husky! Gold discovered in the Yukon. A stampede to the Klondike in the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush with Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog Yukon King as they meet the challenge of the Yukon. There's no one that can make a better cereal than Quaker Puffed Wheat. It's neat, and when you hear the shootin', you're darn tootin' that Quaker makes the ones shot from guns. So fellas and girls, why not treat yourself tomorrow morning to the swellest tasting breakfast cereal you ever had, crisp, delicious Quaker Puffed Wheat. To always get the ones shot from guns, reach every morning for the big red and blue Quaker package. In a large circus tent in Seattle, a big tiger looked through the bars of his cage at the curious crowd and growled. The caged animal stalked slowly back and forth, baring its fangs and glaring with hatred at the human faces just beyond his reach. He remembered the day long ago when he stalked his prey through the faraway jungles. No other animal was too large for him to attack. And he remembered how, though other animals feared humans, he felt only hatred and took pleasure in stalking an unwary native. The thought caused him to roar a sudden defiance to the ever-staring faces outside his cage. Secretly pleased by the crowd's reaction, the tiger leered at them for a moment. Then, just to keep them on edge and show them he hadn't lost any of his spirit, he lunged again. The big cat stood snarling through the bars. He remembered the day he had padded along his favorite jungle path. Suddenly, the ground had given way beneath his feet, and he found himself tangled in a net at the bottom of a deep pit, and excited, yelling natives danced around the rim of the pit above him. From that day on, he lived defiantly in cages. But he knew someday he'd gain his freedom once more. With a final roar, he turned his back on the crowd and lay down. In the office wagon, the manager of the circus sat discussing the tiger with its keeper.
Jake, how are you getting along with that Bengal Tiger?
Yeah, no better than the first day I laid eyes on him, boss. He's mean, ornery, and dangerous.
Well, this is primarily a Wild West show, Jake. Some of the performers are complaining about that big cat.
Why?
Well, they say he makes the horses nervous the way he roars all night.
I reckon that's true, but what can we do about it?
Get rid of him.
Get rid of him?
That's right. A man named Kelly owns an animal show. It's moving on to this lot after we leave. Kelly's in town now and is coming here today to talk about the tiger. He's due here most any minute. That's why I sent for you.
Oh, is Does that mean I'm going to be out of a job?
I don't think so, Jake. Open the door. That must be Kelly now.
Yeah, right.
Howdy. I came to see the show manager.
Oh, come on in.
Well, I reckon you're Mr. Kelly.
That's right.
I'm glad to meet you. Sit down.
I stopped in the tent to get a look at that Bengal Tiger. He's almost as big as a pony.
Yes, sir. The biggest tiger in captivity, Mr. Kelly, and a great attraction to any circus. He's a man killer. And people are fascinated by anything dangerous.
Yeah, I know. I understand you're willing to sell him.
Yes, providing I get my price.
Well, if he's such a good attraction, why do you want to sell him?
Well, I run a Wild West show. That cat is bad to have around horses.
I reckon so. How much you want?
10,000.
Give you 5.
Make it 7 and agree to take the keeper along with the cat. Fact is, Jake's the only man who can get anywhere near him.
Well, all right. It's a deal.
Jake, meet your new boss, Mr. Kelly.
Hi, Mr. Kelly. Make out a bill of sale and we close the transaction right now. Jake and the Tiger will join my show the day you move out and we move in here. Maybe that man-eater ain't good for your show, but by thunder with my animal circus, he'll be the prize exhibit.
And so the Bengal Tiger became part of the new show, fulfilling Kelly's prediction by attracting more people than any other animal in the big tent. After a week's run in Seattle, the show moved through Alaska by riverboat to the Yukon territory. The whole town turned out to see the unusual spectacle of a vicious Bengal tiger. Sergeant Preston stood viewing the tiger when the keeper Jake walked up and spoke.
What do you think of him, Sergeant?
Vicious-looking beast.
Yeah, he's vicious, all right. In spite of the long time he's been in captivity, he hasn't tamed a bit.
I'd hate to meet him when there weren't strong bars between us.
So would I. He's really a man-eater, like they say. Yeah, time to feed him. And he sure hates to wait. See you again sometime, Sergeant.
The stern-wheeler Yukon Queen moved majestically along the great Yukon River. Several cages were lashed to the forward part of the main deck and were a continual attraction to the passengers. Printed on each cage were the words, Kelly's Animal Circus. A keeper in uniform moved among the cages and answered the questions of the curious.
Where's the circus heading, mister?
Selkirk. We just finished a week in Dawson.
Man alive, look at that. Never saw one of those before.
That's a man-eating Bengal tiger, mister. One of the strongest and most ferocious cats in existence.
I'd sure hate to meet an animal like that out in the open.
Yeah, I reckon anybody would.
The following morning, a heavy fog moved in, and the riverboat traveled at half speed. About 20 miles north of Selkirk, the river narrowed, and at several places, points of land jutted out hazardously. Suddenly, there was a crashing, grinding noise as the boat ran aground. On the lower deck, one of the cages broke loose and crashed into the rail.
Tiger's cage is smashed. He's loose. All right, keep back.
The big striped animal stood a moment as if dazed by the crash. Then, with a final roar, it leaped over the railing and disappeared into the fog.
He jumped over the side. The Bengal Tiger's loose. That's right.
Later, when the boat managed to reach Selkirk, the news quickly spread. The circus people formed searching parties, and for 2 days scoured the countryside for the big cat without success. A week later, the circus people reluctantly moved on without their prize exhibit. One day, 2 men sat talking in the Nugget Cafe.
Tony, we gotta get some cash in a hurry.
Sure, I know. Where are we going to get it, Luke?
Well, this is Saturday, and I've noticed a lot of prospectors gone into the express office with pokes of gold.
Yeah?
There ought to be plenty in the safe there by tonight.
Oh, you figure on grabbing it?
Yeah. I've been watching, and there's just one clerk on duty from 9 to midnight. We'll go in just before closing, grab what's in the safe, then head north to Dawson and take the next boat for the States.
Hey, that's a good idea. Count me in.
I know of a good hideout above Pelly's Landing. We'll cover our tracks and head there first to pick up supplies I have cached there.
That evening, Sergeant Preston and his great dog King arrived at the constable's office in Selkirk.
All right, oh boy. Come on, King.
Hello, Sergeant. Glad to see you.
Evening, Constable. How are things in Selkirk?
Quiet. Of course, we did have some excitement last week.
Huh? Tell me about it.
Well, the Yukon Queen was bringing an animal circus to town.
Kelly's Animal Circus?
That's right.
I saw it in Dawson last week. What happened?
The boat ran aground in a fog about 20 miles north of here. Because of the crash, one of the animals got loose. A Bengal Tiger.
Great Scott, I saw that man-eater. Did he hurt anyone?
No. As a matter of fact, the tiger escaped into the hills and was never caught.
Oh. I hope no one meets it.
Huh. I know I'd hate to meet it face to face. I hope it loses itself in the wild country until winter comes. Then it won't survive.
That's possible. Well, I'd like to check the reports.
I'm ready to go over them now, Sergeant.
Good. Let's get busy.
That night, just before midnight, the express clerk looked up as Luke and Tony entered with handkerchiefs masking their faces and guns in their hands.
Hey, what? Take it easy, mister. This is a holdup.
Make him open the safe.
Yeah, you heard what he said. Get the safe open. Get moving.
Yeah, sure.
Make it snappy.
There. It's open, mister.
So I see. Now, this'll keep you quiet. All right, put the loot in the sack, Tony.
Sure.
We sure hit the jackpot, eh?
Yeah. Must be thousands in cash and gold. Yeah, we got it all.
Good. Let's get out the back way.
Half an hour later, the express clerk staggered into the constable's office.
Oh, Sergeant. The express office has been robbed. 2 men.
Here, sit down, man. You're hurt.
I'll get water and a bandage.
All right.
I'm all right. Got hit on the head. Knocked me out.
When did it happen?
What time is it now?
12:30?
It was just before midnight. They were masked. They had guns. Forced me to open the safe and knocked me out.
I'll bandage your head. You got a nasty blow.
In a few moments, the clerk's head was bandaged. Then Preston said,
Feel all right now?
Yes, Sergeant.
How much did they take, you know?
About 10,000 in gold and 3,000 in cash.
Constable, we'll go to the express office and look around and try to find their trail. Let's go. Come on, King.
At the express office, the two Mounties quickly looked around for clues. They found the back door was unbolted. They opened it and went outside.
Storm coming up.
That's too bad.
Yes. Look, hoof marks.
The beam of light from the open door was sufficient to show the marks left by the crook's horses. Preston called to King.
King, here, boy. Pick up the scent, King. Get the scent.
You going after them in spite of the approaching storm, Sergeant?
Yes, before it breaks, King can show us which way they went. Let's get our horses and start right now.
The two Mounties brought their horses to the rear of the building, then mounted.
To the right. Fine, King. After him, fella. Come on, Rex.
Get up, boy.
King followed the tracks through town and then up the north trail.
Here's the rain, Constable. Before long, those tracks will be washed out.
I know.
King has their scent. He may be able to pick it up after the storm. We'll keep going.
If the storm gets too bad, they may take cover someplace.
That's true. We may have to take cover ourselves. Come on, Rex.
Get up there.
On the trail a few miles ahead, Luke and Tony rode through the storm.
Hey, Luke. The storm is bad. We ought to find a place to stop till it's over.
Stop beefing about a little water. This is a good break for us. We'll wash out our tracks so we can't be trailed. We'll keep on till we reach the hideout I told you about.
Where is it?
We have to take a branch trail into the hills. The hideout is a big natural cave in the side of a cliff. We'll dry out there, load up with supplies, and hit the trail for Dawson. All right, get up there. Get along.
Get up.
storm was intense, but soon passed. Just before the two crooks reached the branch trail, the moon came out brightly.
We're coming to the branch trail now, Tony. We'll soon be at the hideout.
Yeah. But now that the rain has stopped, our tracks show again.
Why worry? I figure that clerk didn't come to till after the storm started. So nobody could find our trail to follow.
Maybe you're right. I hope so.
Well, here's where we turn off. Come on, get up.
Come on, get up. The way it looks, this branch trail has not been used for a long time. Just a footpath.
It leads into wild country. A few prospectors staked claims back there, but soon gave up. Nobody ever goes this way anymore.
So much the better for us.
Right. We could stay at that cave for days without anyone being the wiser. Get up.
Come on, get up.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Preston and the constable made good time in spite of the storm. When they were a short distance from the branch trail, Preston spoke.
Look, Constable, fresh hoof marks.
We're in luck. Good thing we started before the rain so King could lead us in the right direction.
That's right. Well, hold on, Wilrex, hold. The tracks turned there onto that narrow branch trail.
Strange they'd head into that wild country.
Yes, it is. They'd have more chance of escape if they headed straight north. Well, we'll follow them, soon find out where they're going. Come on, Rex.
Get up, boy.
Later, Luke and Tony approached a low cliff in which the cave opening was discernible in the moonlight.
You can see the cave from here, Tony.
Yeah. Is it big enough to have a fire inside?
Plenty big. We can even take the horses inside.
Oh, good.
There's even some dry wood stacked up. I figured I'd be using the cave before long. I have a couple of lanterns there, too, along with a couple of dry blankets.
Sounds like you used it as a hideout before.
Yeah, more than once. Well, here we are. We can ride right in. Get up there.
Get up. Get up.
Oh, there. Oh, there. Steady. Easy. I left the lanterns just inside the entrance.
Hurry up and light one.
Yeah, right. There. Now we'll start a fire.
Hey, this is a big cave, Luke. Seems to go way back. It narrows back there.
Yeah, I never bothered about how far back it goes. Well, come on. We'll get the wood and start a campfire.
On the opposite side of the ridge, a tawny striped figure moved slinkingly through the brush in the moonlight. The huge Bengal Tiger, unaccustomed to the chill Yukon air, sought shelter. He stopped before a small opening in the side of the ridge and sniffed curiously. Strange scents reached his sensitive nostrils, the acrid smell of smoke and the scent of men and horses. He stood a moment as if undecided. He feared and hated humans, but hunger abated his fear. Horses and, if need be, men meant food. He slowly padded through the rear entrance to the cave and toward the men and horses, his large, glassy green eyes glistening with anticipation. We'll continue our adventure in just a moment. Your appetite really strikes it rich, fellas and girls, when you have a heaping bowl full of delicious Quaker puffed wheat or Quaker puffed rice for breakfast. There's a bonanza of good eating in every spoonful of those crisp, tender, flavor-rich grains that are shot from guns. And you get added food values of restored natural grain amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron. Enjoy this nourishing treat every morning. And now, fellas and girls, we've got a famous football coach here. And I want to ask him what was the most amazing thing that ever happened in football. Listen to what he says. How about it, Coach? What was the most fantastic thing you ever heard of in your years of coaching football?
Well, Fred, I've seen some downright thrilling things, all right. Football is packed with excitement and drama. But there was one game that tops them all, in my opinion. It's so amazing, well, I can still hardly believe it.
What game was that, Coach? What was the amazing event?
Fred, it's an odd but true event that took place a few years ago. A football team made 2 touchdowns in 8 seconds. Think of that. But here's the really fantastic thing. The team that made the 2 touchdowns in 8 seconds lost the football game 3-0. Tell me, Fred, can you figure that one out?
Coach, I've got a way for these boys and girls listening in to find out about that football game. In fact, to learn all about 27 of the most amazing events that ever happened in sports. All they have to do is keep listening. Keep listening, and I'll tell all you fellows and girls about the new different trading cards that tell you all about the strangest events that ever happened in the world of sports. Now to continue. As Sergeant Preston and the constable rode along the branch trail, they suddenly sighted the cliff.
Look, Constable. Cave in that cliff, and there's a light inside.
Crooks must be hiding out there.
All right, so. Easy, boy. We'll leave our horses here under the trees and approach that cave on foot.
All right.
We'll try to take them by surprise. Let's go. Come on, King. Quiet.
The Bengal Tiger moved quietly along a passageway that gradually widened until he saw the flickering light of a campfire ahead. He crept forward and up onto a ledge about 10 feet above the floor and some short distance from the unsuspecting crooks.
Our clothes will soon be dry, Tony.
Yeah, I'm almost dry now.
The tiger on the ledge in the shadows sank down on his belly and watched the men like a massive cat watching an unsuspecting mouse. He stared unblinkingly at the two humans sitting beside the campfire and at the two horses ground hitched near the cave entrance. Fire was his greatest fear, but past experience had taught him that campfires usually burned out. The striped terror of the jungles rested his big head on his paws and waited for the right moment to attack his prey.
I reckon it's safe enough to take a short snooze, Tony.
Yeah. We sure know how to pick a good hideout, Luke. We're plenty safe here. Oh, a little rest will do us both good.
Sergeant Preston, with King and the constable, strode slowly and carefully through the brush toward the cave entrance.
Quiet, King. Constable will move in from each side of the entrance. You take the left.
All right, Sergeant.
The light inside has died down considerably. Must be a campfire.
I think it is.
Take your place to the left, just outside the entrance. Have your gun ready, and when I give the word, we'll rush them.
All right, Sergeant.
On the ledge, the tiger still watched as the two crooks gradually dozed and the flames of the fire died down. Suddenly, he raised his head. Sounds and scents unperceptible to humans had reached him. He knew with the instinct of the jungle that others were stalking his prey. Staring intently at the cave entrance, he stood up, ears flattened and fangs bared. Then he gave a loud warning growl. Luke and Tony jumped to their feet, drawing their guns.
What was that?
I don't know. It came from back there in the cave. Maybe...
Drop your guns and reach for them.
What the...
Look, in the entrance. Two Mounties with guns.
I said drop your guns.
Gun him, Tony.
Before the two crooks could fire, Preston and the constable used their guns.
Pick up their guns, Constable, and handcuff them.
Right. I have the guns. And here are the handcuffs.
On the ledge, the tiger, upon hearing the gunfire, cowered a moment in fear of the short fire sticks in the hands of the humans. Then, seeing the great dog King appear in the cave entrance, and angered by the interference of the newcomers, the big tawny animal sprang.
Look out!
The tiger!
Holy mackerel!
The King!
Preston fired, but the wily cat anticipated the sergeant's move and sprang through the entrance into the night.
Hey, he looked as big as a house. Luke, it was right in here with us.
And because of that tiger, the Mounties got the drop on us.
You're lucky he didn't attack you before we got here. Constable, we'll tie them to their horses and start back with them.
The loot must be in their saddlebags. I'll look.
All right.
The express loot was found in the saddlebags, and the two men were soon tied to their horses for the trip back to Selkirk.
We arrest you men in the name of the Crown for armed robbery. Let's lead the horses to where we left our own, Constable.
Right. Come on, boy. Come on.
We'll keep our eyes open for that tiger, although I think he'll keep his distance.
I hope so.
The tiger is attacking our horses.
Great day.
Bring the prisoners. Come on, King.
Meantime, the big black stallion Rex jumped, bucked, and kicked as the tiger attacked. King, running well ahead of his master, joined in the fight. The tiger, puzzled by the ferocious opposition from the two animals, whose kind had always been easy prey, continued the attacks, springing forward again and again, only to be stopped by the kicking, stomping hooves of the stallion and the sudden and unexpected nips from the snarling, courageous dog. Finally...
Good work, Rex. Good for you, King. Easy, boy. I think he's done for.
Oh, holy smoke, Sergeant, you got him.
Yes. I want to look King and Rex over and see if they're hurt badly. Oh, roughed up quite a bit, fella, but nothing serious. I'll attend to those cuts. Good fighting, King. Same with you, Rex. I don't know how you both escaped more serious injuries. You and King did a fine job, boy.
I wouldn't have believed a horse and a dog could hold off a beast like that Bengal Tiger, Sergeant.
Well, with due modesty, I'll say I don't consider Rex and King just another horse and dog, Constable.
I know what you mean, Sergeant. As long as you three are together, I don't think anything or anybody will get the better of you.
Well, thanks for the compliment. Now that it's over, I'm glad we ran into that tiger before he killed someone.
Yeah, he's sure mighty big. And that striped skin would make a beautiful rug.
We'll come back for it, Constable, after we report to headquarters. Well, the tiger's dead, the crooks are caught, and the express loot recovered. Constable, this case is closed.
We'll return in just a moment with a word about our next exciting adventure. Okay, all you sports fans, I know you're waiting to hear how you can learn all about the oddest things that ever happened in the sports world. You'd like to know the story about
the challenge of Yankee Stadium, the mysterious challenge that no baseball player has ever been able to beat.
And wouldn't you want to know all the facts about
the toughest football player in the world? A player that was so good, he was picked to play 2 positions on the same All-American football team.
And here's one I'll bet you girls will want to know all about. The story of a girl baseball player that played men's baseball until she found out she was too good for men's baseball. Well, fellas and girls, you can learn all about the oddest events that ever happened in sports on new Sports Oddities trading cards. Sports Oddities trading cards are regular playing card size with colorful pictures on the front and the thrilling story of the strangest happenings in sports on the back.
Jimmy Evans, the famous athlete and sportscaster, tells you all about 27 odd but true events that actually happened in sports. You'll want to collect these cards, trade them, amaze your family and friends with the exciting sports stories. And just listen to how easy it is to get your first Sports Oddities card.
Go right down to your grocer's. Get a package of delicious Quaker puffed wheat or Quaker puffed rice. Look inside, and right there, packed inside, is your first colorful, thrilling Sports Oddities card. It's yours free in every package of Quaker puffed wheat or rice.
Boys and girls, that means there's no waiting. You can have your Sports Oddities trading card tomorrow, just as soon as you get that package of Quaker puffed wheat or rice. And would you like to know how to get all 27 amazing Sports Oddities cards at once?
Simple. Just look on the back of the package and see how easy it is to get the entire set of 27 Sports Oddities cards at once. But hurry, Sports Oddities cards are only available through Quaker puffed wheat and rice.
And our supply is limited, so hurry to your grocer's tomorrow. Get a package of your favorite cereal with a gun on the front and a free Sports Oddities card inside. Get them quick while they last.
In a fight to the finish, Sergeant Preston found himself surrounded by savages on the warpath. His situation seemed hopeless, but suddenly, well, you'll thrill to the breathtaking climax of this next exciting adventure. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated, are created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Fred Flowerday. Today's adventure was written by Dan Beatty. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. Sergeant Preston of the Yukon is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday at this same time by Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice. The breakfast cereals shot from guns. This is Fred Foy wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice. So long. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
"71 years ago, May 18th, 1954, Sergeant Preston of the Yukon." Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Coming up next, Tyrone Power in Freedom, USA.
The Crusade for Freedom is a crusade for your freedom and mine. The truth dollars people send the Crusade for Freedom help preserve our own freedom, even as they get the truth and hope to people behind the Iron Curtain. Truth dollars help finance Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia, the most effective weapons Western democracy has for countering lies and distortion. Send your contribution to the Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster. That's Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
By the way, I want to once again thank Jerry Henges for that episode with Sergeant Preston of the Yukon. You can find more about Jerry by going to jerrysoldtimeradio.com. That's jerrysoldtimeradio.com. He does some amazing stuff there. Okay, let us roll on here with an episode of Freedom USA. Tyrone Power, starring in this episode from 73 years ago, May 18, 1952, The Leaked Report.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to hear the story of a United States Senator. You are going behind the scenes of political Washington, into the Senate chambers, the cloakrooms, the private offices, the meetings, secret and public. The locale, the background, are factual. Only the names and the stories are fictional. This is Freedom, USA. Starring Tyrone Power as a Senator of the United States, and featuring the voice of America's distinguished news commentator and Washington authority, Edwin C. Hill. Freedom, USA, the story of your government today. In a moment, listen to Tyrone Power as Senator Dean Edwards in Freedom, USA. Now, we present Freedom, USA, starring Tyrone Power as Senator Dean Edwards and featuring the voice of Edwin C. Hill.
This is Edwin C. Hill, ladies and gentlemen. The traditional American distrust of secrecy in government finds expression in our nation's capital in a number of curious ways. The very halls of Congress, for example, are laid out in such a way as to afford any interested citizen a clear, unobstructed view of his lawmakers in action. Galleries open to the public rise steeply on all four sides of both the House and Senate chambers. Everything Congress does, whether in regular session or in committee, are matters not merely of public record, but subject also to the closest public scrutiny. Occasionally, however, circumstances arise which compel a congressional body to close its doors to the public and meet in camera. As when, for instance, the Senate subcommittee on which young Senator Dean Edwards serves met in close executive session.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Edwards.
Mr. Chairman, are we to understand that the confidential report made to this committee by the Gas and Petroleum Division has been made public?
I don't know what construction you gentlemen wish to make of it, but it seems to me that someone outside this committee has been given access to the report.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Weaver.
Aren't we assuming something which may, in fact, have no basis other than coincidence?
I'm not so sure of that, Senator. You'll recall that the report was made to this committee on Friday.
Yes, But why should we assume that the frenzied activity in the stock market exchange reflects directly on a report which certainly none of us would divulge after having pledged ourselves to secrecy?
Sudden trading in fuel oil stocks close on the heels of a report predicting a shortage. A report, gentlemen, which has been issued to this committee only. Well, that's too striking a coincidence for my sense of credulity.
Then you assume the leak occurred somewhere in this committee.
I see no other conclusion.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Edwards.
Isn't it possible that this so-called leak originated in the very department from which the report came?
Hardly. Our special investigators have gone into the matter thoroughly. No, gentlemen, I'm afraid you'll have to look closer home.
Is there any information available as to the identity of the speculators?
Yes. They are a group known as the Transcontinental Enterprises, a syndicate headed by Mr. Nicholas Keeley.
Well, why don't we call Mr. Keeley in for questioning?
May I remind you, gentlemen, that to do so would be to invite public attention on a matter we have deemed too critical for disclosure at this time. The danger of scare buying, not to mention the propaganda use of such information, should be obvious to all of us. Besides, legal counsel informs me that the syndicate has acted within its legal rights.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Edwards.
This has been a most disturbing experience. As one who favored the release of the report, I realize I am suspect. I give you my word I have not violated my pledge of secrecy. I realize, however, that until this matter is cleared up, we're all suspect, and such a situation is intolerable. I move, therefore, that our committee investigators be instructed to continue their investigations until the reprehensible parties be brought to light.
Senator Edwards' office? No, I'm sorry, the senator is not in. Oh, yes, Mr. Stewart. I'll have him call you just as soon as he gets back from the hill. Thank you. Oh, Senator, Mr. Stewart just called.
Never mind that now. I want to talk to you, Ginger.
Certainly. What about?
Do you remember that report from the Gas and Petroleum Division?
Department of the Interior?
That's the one. Where is it now?
In a file under lock and key.
May I see it, please?
Of course. One moment, I'll get my key. Did you ever see such junk? One of these days I'll have to go through this desk with a... What's this? Federal Employees Annual Thanksgiving raffle ticket on a turkey. I guess I didn't win it.
The keys, Miss Mullen.
Oh, yes, the keys. Oh, here they are. Now then, the confidential report on fuel oil. That would be under gas and petroleum, wouldn't it?
You filed it.
Fuel oil. FG gas. Here it is. There you are, the confidential report.
Sit down, Ginger.
Okay.
Have you read the report?
Enough of it to know it doesn't go under wildlife conservation. See, what's wrong, Chief?
Has the report been out of this office?
Since Friday?
At any time?
Not that I know of. Was it supposed to be?
I'm serious, Ginger.
Well, so am I. What's this about?
I want you to think carefully. When I gave you the report Friday, what did you do with it?
Filed it?
Immediately?
Well, not simultaneously, but soon after.
Was there anyone around at the time?
When I filed it?
Yes.
Do you mean, were there any witnesses?
Did anyone see you file the report?
No, there was no one here, but you just saw me take it out of the file.
What about Mary Kincaid?
What about her?
Was she around?
I said there was no one here at the time. I haven't seen Mary for days. Besides, I'm not in the habit of leaving confidential reports lying around.
Did you discuss it with anyone?
The report?
Yes.
But it's a confidential report.
Precisely.
What are you trying to accuse me of, Senator?
I'm not accusing you of anything. There's been a serious leak of information in the subcommittee, and I'm trying to check its source. Have you discussed this report?
I heard you the first time. If you think I'm not to be trusted...
Well, I didn't say that.
You implied it. It's enough that I'm your girl Friday on Saturdays and Sundays, too, but now you suspect...
No, Ginger, it
I
isn't
see no sense in continuing this farce. You can consider my resignation effective as of now.
Ginger! Yes?
Excuse me, Senator. I didn't know you were asleep.
Thaddeus, do I look as if I've been asleep?
No, sir. But I sure hope I didn't wake you up.
What is it, Thaddeus?
You know that box of candy you told me to deliver to the young lady?
Oh, yes?
Well, the young lady said, Let me see. I wrote it down here someplace.
Now, hurry up, Thaddeus. That's my phone. What did she say?
Oh, here it is. She said, no thanks. She don't want to be accused of bribe taking.
I see. Well, thank you, Thaddeus.
Senator, what do you want me to do with this box of candy?
Keep it. It's yours.
Mine? Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Dean, this is Ned Collins. Did you call me?
Oh, yes, Senator. I tried to reach you.
Well, I called your office, but you were gone.
I know. I left early. Ned, I've been thinking about that fuel oil situation, and...
Couldn't it wait until the committee reconvenes?
Oh, that's just the point. The committee won't meet until next week, and what I had in mind calls for immediate action.
All right, what is it?
I think there's a way of cutting the ground out from under these speculators.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it occurred to me that what these fellows are gambling on is an oil shortage in the face of a long, cold winter.
Now, wait a minute, Dean. If you're thinking of legislating long, cold winters out of existence.
No, nothing quite that simple. I was concentrating on the shortage angle. It seems to me that by stockpiling it now, in those areas where we anticipate the shortage...
Stockpiling?
Sure. Why can't the government reserve or lease all the available pipelines and storage tanks in these critical areas, and when winter comes, release the reserves as they're needed?
Say, I think you've got something there. But,
What's the matter?
I was just thinking of the fly in the ointment.
Fly in the ointment?
A human pipeline, the committee leak.
Oh. Anything new on that?
No. Of course, it might have been a case of plain carelessness.
Say, I have an idea. Why must this matter come up before the committee anyway? Isn't the fuel oil administrator empowered to act?
In case of an emergency? I think you're right, Dean. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll set up an appointment. Give you a ring first thing in the morning.
Oh, Ginger. I'm glad to see you've changed your mind.
Don't get the wrong idea, Mr. Edwards. I'm merely filling in until the new girl arrives.
Oh. I'm expecting a call from Senator Collins.
I'll see that you're connected. Your letters are waiting for signature on your desk.
Thanks.
And you'll find the office keys, including the key to your special file, in the top drawer.
Now, look, Ginger, I admit I made a mistake. I shouldn't have...
Oh, there's a Mr. Hammond waiting in the outer office.
The devil take Mr. Hammond. I'm trying to say I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to apologize to me. It's been my experience that when a private secretary no longer enjoys the confidence of her employer...
Won't you reconsider?
Mr. Hammond represents the Capital Investment Corporation, and he says it's very important. Something about leasing oil tanks.
Now, don't change the... What?
Oil tanks.
Well, show him in. Who sent you, Mr. Hammond?
It's not a question of referral, Senator. As a matter of regular procedure, we make it a practice to investigate all applications for loan.
I understand, but why come to me?
Well, sir, without going into the qualifications of the loan or the merits of the collateral, this application happens to be for such a large sum of money, we have to be doubly careful.
Yes, but why me?
As I understand it, Senator, you're a member of the Senate Subcommittee on Petroleum Resources. And as this loan has to do with the leasing of storage facilities, which I understand the government plans...
Just a minute. Where did you get that idea?
From the applicant, naturally. He claims to have it on high authority.
What authority?
Why, Senator, you.
What?
Anything wrong? Our client said...
Just who is your client?
Mr. Nicholas Keeley of the Transcontinental Enterprises.
Excuse me, Senator. Are you ready for your call? Senator Collins is on the line.
Oh, thanks, Ginger. Put him on here, please.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ned. Excuse me, please.
It's quite all right.
Cancel it, Ned. Yes, I know. Cancel the appointment. Also call a special meeting of the committee. It's an emergency. I'll explain later.
Now, back to Tyrone Power, starring as Senator Dean Edwards in Freedom, USA, and the second act of our story.
This is Edwin C. here, ladies and gentlemen. When wise men speak of pouring oil on troubled waters, I'm sure they could not mean fuel oil. Witness the predicament young Senator Dean Edwards finds himself in as the result of an impending fuel oil shortage and a mysterious leak of information in the very committee of which the senator is a member. Recent developments have disclosed that a certain Mr. Keeley is the beneficiary of this information leak. And as we look in at the senator's office, we find him pacing the floor.
Keeley. Doesn't make sense. Ginger.
Yes?
Have we ever... No, I beg your pardon. I forgot you're no longer working for me.
Oh, well, it's quite all right until my replacement arrives.
Then if you don't mind, Miss Mullen, have you any recollection of a Mr. Keeley?
Keeley?
Nicholas Keeley. Have we ever had any correspondence with him or with the Transcontinental Enterprises?
No, I'm quite sure we never have.
That's what I thought.
Someone you know personally?
I swear I've never met the man, let alone talk to him or communicate with him in any shape or form whatsoever.
I believe you.
Oh, this is a first-class mess.
Can I be of any help?
No, thanks. I'll muddle through. What gets me is, where did he get the information which only Ned and I... Do you suppose Ned? No, this is ridiculous. Soon I'll begin suspecting myself. Ned would no more
If I knew what you were talking about, perhaps I could listen more intelligently.
Ginger, what would you do if you found yourself suspected of betraying confidential information?
I was. I quit.
Oh, well, that isn't what I mean. What I mean is, well, I might as well tell you the whole thing. Someone on the committee has been giving out confidential information.
The fuel oil report?
Yes. And from the looks of things, the finger of suspicion points to me.
But that's impossible.
I know it is. But what would you do?
Well, the first thing I'd do is fight back.
Yes. And then?
How does this Keeley figure in this?
I don't know. He seems to be at the receiving end. But when? How? Where?
Why don't you ask him?
That's right. Why don't I?
Did you say Nicholas Keeley?
Yes.
I'll look him up in the directory.
Yeah, you might find him listed under Transcontinental.
I know.
And Ginger.
Yes?
When unjustly accused, remember what you said about fighting back.
Well, Senator Edwards. This is indeed an unexpected pleasure.
Let's dispense with the formalities. I think you know why I'm here, Mr. Keeley.
As a matter of fact, no. But don't let that bother you. A distinguished visitor like yourself is always welcome. Won't you sit down?
I'll be short and to the point. Who's been feeding you information?
That's short and to the point, all right. Now, if you'll tell me what information, perhaps I can help you.
You know what I'm talking about, Keeley. Let's not pussyfoot around.
Oh, I like a man who speaks his mind. You smoke?
No, thanks.
Do you mind if I smoke? Yes, it's a rare quality these days. A man who says what he thinks is a man to be trusted. I like that.
Are you going to answer my question?
Am I under oath?
I could have you brought before the committee, under subpoena if necessary.
Oh, you have a temper, Senator. Of course you could have me subpoenaed. On the other hand, I could refuse to answer your questions. Surely you must know, Senator, as a citizen, I also have certain rights. And among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of my private business.
Is that your answer?
Oh, let's not be impatient, Senator. I presume you're referring to my business.
What kind of business are you in?
No, that depends. Primarily, I'd say I'm in business to make a profit. Anything wrong in that, Senator?
Go on.
I'm a man of many ambitions. One of these ambitions is to make a lot of money. Another is to make friends, particularly persons as highly placed as yourself. Do you follow my meaning?
I'm not so sure that I do.
Well, let me put it this way, Senator. You're a reasonable man. I'm a reasonable man. Seems to me we should be able to get together. And if the piper plays a tune, I believe the piper should be paid handsomely. You follow me now?
Yes. And you know what you can do with your money. Good day, sir.
Chief, where have you been?
Walking around to cool off.
Cool off?
I've been offered a bribe. No, Ginger, I didn't take it.
Of course not. But did you find out what you were looking for?
No. I'm afraid I'm up against a blank wall.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Were there any calls?
Oh, yes. Senator Collins' office called. The meeting you requested has been set for tomorrow morning at 10.
Oh, great. All I can say is I'm it.
And there's a young lady waiting in your office.
A young lady? Oh, Ginger, you're not serious.
Why don't you go and see who it is?
Yes, I suppose that's the thing to do.
Well, it's about time you showed up.
Mary Kincaid, what are you doing in my office?
Now, hold everything. Before you start firing more secretaries, let me assure you Miss Mullen has nothing to do with it. I handed over her dead body, and I intend to stay until you've answered a few questions.
Well, what do you want?
Here, take a look at this.
What is it, a photograph?
Just take a look at it. This thing you casually call a photograph's a stick of dynamite which can blow your political future sky high.
But this... Where did you get this? Why, it must...
When confronted by the evidence, the senator simply expressed utter amazement and asked, where did you get this?
All right, so I've been to see Nick Keeley. What about it?
What about it? Don't you realize every move you make is news? Look, you can even read the name on the door in the background. Transcontinental Enterprises.
Must have been snapped as I was coming out.
And you should never have gone in the first place. Figure it out for yourself, Senator. Your committee's been meeting for over a week. Closed executive sessions, no statements, no releases, no copies. What do you suppose our editors say? They know something's cooking. They want to know what's going on.
But what's this got to do
Plenty.
with...
In the absence of real information, the rumor factories go to work. You've no idea what juicy tidbits the grapevine's bearing these days.
But I only
yes,
went...
you only get caught coming out of a notorious bucket shop operation. Oh, brother, what the tabloids could do with this one.
Well, has this been released?
Not yet. Fortunately for you, the eagle-eyed cameraman who took this picture's a friend of mine. I've been able to talk Joe Carter into a 24-hour reprieve. 24 hours are only one day, and the afternoon's almost shot. You better talk fast, Senator. What's it all about?
I'm sorry, Mary. I can't talk.
What? I should have my head examined. I violate every principle of good journalism. I could lose my job for suppressing the news.
Well, it isn't that I wouldn't like to tell you, but...
Has it something to do with fuel oil?
I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
That bad, huh?
Pretty nasty.
Does it involve you?
In a way. Oh, it isn't as bad as it sounds. If you can wait until the committee meeting tomorrow, I'll have a story for you.
Is that a promise?
Yes.
Sticking my neck out with Joe and the rest of the fellows. They're a nice bunch of fellows. Don't leave me out on a limb, please.
Don't worry, Mary. I won't.
Committee will be in order. Senator Edwards, this meeting was called at your request. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I requested that a subpoena be issued for Mr. Nicholas Keeley, effective for a meeting of this committee at 10:30 a.m. Is he in the room?
Mr. Nicholas Keeley.
You've taken the oath, Mr. Keeley.
I have.
You may be seated. Proceed, Senator.
Your name is Nicholas Keeley, and you head up a syndicate known as Transcontinental Enterprises. Is that correct?
That's right, Senator.
Now then, Mr. Keeley, it has come to the attention of this committee that you, or the organization headed by yourself, has recently made a killing, as it were, on the stock market exchange in the buying and selling of fuel oil stocks. Is that correct?
That's right, Senator.
Would you mind explaining to the committee how you happened on such good fortune?
Well, I don't mind, Senator, but I don't see where it's going to get you.
Will you please answer the question?
Sure, Senator. Intuition.
Intuition?
That's right. Ask any businessman, and he'll tell you that some of his best deals were made on a hunch.
Your organization recently applied to the Capital Investment Corporation for a $2 million loan. Is that correct?
You ought to know. You scotched that deal for us.
Answer the question.
Yes, sir. We applied for a loan, but we didn't get it.
The loan was for the purpose of grabbing off all the available oil pipelines and storage tanks.
I wouldn't say grabbing off, Senator. After all, the government was planning to do the same thing.
Is this also based on intuition, or have you some other means of knowing?
Well, I really don't see what business it is of yours. How
Will the chair please instruct the witness to answer the question?
The witness will answer the question.
I was playing a hunch.
Mr. Chairman, I should like to interrupt the proceedings to ask our special investigator, Mr. Shelby, to please come forward with an exhibit.
What is the nature of this exhibit?
It's a wire recorder taken from the offices of the Transcontinental Enterprises under warrant issued by the federal court.
Well, Mr. Shelby, come forward.
Mr. Chairman, as counsel for the witness, I object to the introduction of wire recordings as evidence into this hearing. In the case of Nardoni versus United States, the Supreme Court held
Just a minute, counsel. This is not a court of law. The senator has not indicated how he purports to use this exhibit. Senator Edwards?
I should like to make it clear that this is a wire recorder found in Mr. Keeley's office, and not a recording made by any member of this committee. And now, if the chair will permit, I would like to have the recording played.
Proceed, Senator. Dean, this is Ned Collins. Did you call me?
Oh, yes, Senator. I tried to reach you.
Well, I called your office, but you were gone.
I know. I left early. Ned, I've been thinking about that fuel oil situation.
I object. This is an invasion of my privacy.
The gentleman is quite right. This is indeed an invasion of privacy. And according to the Federal Communications Act, Section 605, wiretapping Mr. Keeley is a federal offense. I ask the deputy of the Sergeant-at-Arms of the Senate to hold Nicholas Keeley for action by the Attorney General of the United States.
The deputy will hold Nicholas Keeley, prisoner of the Senate, for action as requested.
Well, Mary, you're off the limb. You got your story after all.
And without using that picture, Senator.
Thanks, Mary. Oh, Ginger, you still around?
It's only 5 o'clock, boss.
But the other girl, your replacement.
What other girl? Don't be silly, Senator. There is no other girl.
There never was.
Edwin C. Hill, ladies and gentlemen. And so, from the secrecy of closed executive sessions to the open warfare of disreputable elements against our government, often flows a basic truth. An informed people will exercise the wholesome control and direction of government in which truth and justice will prevail.
Our star, Tyrone Power, will return in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tyrone Power. I like America. I like America because it is a land in which men of goodwill, no matter how grievous the wrong, how dark the prospect, have the opportunity to seek a redress of their grievances, and the golden opportunity of all times to find equality and justice for all under the law. May we forever cherish this freedom and preserve it.
Next week, may we invite you to again visit our national capital for another absorbing episode of Freedom, USA, starring Tyrone Power. In the interest of good government, we urge you to listen to these important stories from Washington, D.C. Freedom, USA.
"73 years ago, May 18th, 1952, Freedom USA here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, we'll head to the Jot 'em Down store, see what's going on with Lum and Abner.
Our country was founded by men who had faith in God and who were willing to endure hardship and sacrifice for the sake of that faith. In these troubled times, there is need to support a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion, which knit the family together, make for good citizenship, and build the character of the children. The religious institutions in your community need your interest and support, so take an active part in religious affairs. Your pastor, rabbi, or priest will give you invaluable family counsel and aid if you're a newcomer to the community. To face the problems of the future, America must be morally strong. And that moral strength comes through worship and faith. Go to church this week and take someone with you.
Now on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 83 years, May 18th, 1942, for an episode of Lum and Abner as, they're still working on writing.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Friends, be wise, and always keep a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets on the job. Now, whether you work in one of the defense industries, an office, a store, or on the farm, you just can't afford to let a headache, a sour upset stomach, a touch of acid indigestion, or muscular aches and pains keep you from putting in a full day's work every day. So, be prepared for the discomfort and the costly slowdowns these common ailments can cause, and never be without a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets handy, both at home and at work. Remember, Alka-Seltzer. Now, it contains not one, but several tested ingredients which go to work fast to help you feel better. So, keep a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets on the job, or you never can tell when you'll want the relief they offer. See your druggist right away. The sooner the better. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum is still in the printing business, but he hasn't been able to secure any sizable jobs yet. He is, however, planning to publish a new dictionary, one that will remedy such glaring omissions as the words ain't and or't from the dictionaries currently in use. As we look in on the little community today, we find Abner in the jot-em-down store and library. Lum is back in the feed room with the printing press, and Cedric has just entered the store. Listen.
Oh, well, howdy, Cedric.
Howdy, Mr. Abner.
Come on in.
When did you get the bell put up on the door?
Oh, the other day. Lum says it's to wake me up when customers come in the store, but I never done no actual sleeping in there. I just sort of taking little cat naps, I think.
Yes, Mom. I got a letter here from Mr. Lum. Is he here?
Yeah, he's back there in the feed room working on that printing press. Hey, Lum. Come here, Lum. There's a letter for you. I might not never see old Lum no more since he got himself to where he thinks he's a big printer now.
Yes, Mom. What's he printing on now? Some more handbills?
No, I reckon it's that dictionary he's working on. Leastways, I heard him say he was aiming on printing up a new one. Who's the letter from, Cedric?
Oh, it's from Oxford Overnight Authors Institute of Midwest Missouri.
Authors Institute? Well, reckon they've heard about Lum writing that new dictionary already?
What was you wanted, Abner? I'm awful busy.
Oh, why, there's a letter here for you, Lum, from that Authors, Oxford something or another.
Granny, is that here already? Let me see it. Here it is, Mr. Lum.
Did you know you was going to get a letter from them, Lum?
Well, yeah, sort of. See, I seen an ad in a magazine last week, and I filled out the coupon and sent it into the Oxford Overnight Author Institute. And they're going to show me how I can get to be a big, famous author, practical overnight.
Well.
And I'll earn big money, too, they said.
Well.
Believe that's what I'd like to take up, earning big money. Well, this ain't no kind of a job for a boy like you, Cedric. Takes a feller with some literary experience to get to be a famous author.
Well, how do you know that you're going to earn big money at this job, Lum?
Well, Clinton B. Quincy of Chester, Pennsylvania is doing it.
Clancy B. Quentin of Chelsea, Pennsylvania. Who's he?
Well, he's a feller they tell about in the ad. He sent in the same coupon that I sent in less than 3 weeks, Clinton B. Quincy of Chester, Pennsylvania was making $300 to $400 a week, selling stories to Boys Workbench Weekly and Modern Tatting and Doily Review and Steam Fitters and Welders Monthly Magazine and I don't know what all.
Well, I do know.
And Clinton's only 23-year-old. So I figured I ought to start out making twice as much as him.
Well, is that what you're going to do, sell them stories to them Doily and Steamwellers magazines?
No, not me. That's small-time stuff.
Tis, huh?
I'm going in for big, long books. Novels. That's what I'm going to write.
Love novels?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I can tell you one thing, though. I'm quitting work on that dictionary. That's just a waste of time.
Tis, huh?
Why, sure. Can't find no other words they've left out except ort and ain't. So there ain't no use copying down all the rest of the dictionary just to get them 2 words in. Feller can recollect them.
Why, sure, a fellow ought to be able to recollect just 2 words, ort and ain't, yeah.
Ain't you going to open up your letter, Mr. Lum? Oh, yeah, might not forgot about that. Let's see here.
Well, how's this letter going to help you get to be a famous author, Lum?
Now, just wait a second and I'll show you.
Huh?
Here, now, see this? This
Yeah.
is a aptitude test, I reckon it's called.
Well, what's a aptitude test?
It's a test they give me to see if I got aptitude or not.
Oh, well, if you got it, is it serious?
I had appendicitis once, and that was serious. Well, this is different, though, Cedric. I had a whooping cough once, too, but that weren't serious, I don't think.
Little Pearl had the mumps once. Just had 'em on one side, though. Just one mump, I reckon. Had the mump, you'd call it, I reckon.
Well, aptitude ain't no kind of a disease, Abner. Just a test to see if I'm the type of fella that ought to be an author.
Uh-huh.
All I have to do is write out a couple of things they got listed down here and send it in. If I do good in that, then I can start right out being an author and earning big money. At least that's what the ad said.
Yeah, well, what kind of a thing have you got to write out there?
Well, if you'll get me some of them grocery pads there, I'll show you. I reckon I can write on the back of them all right.
Oh, sure, them ought to be fine. Can you reach 'em there, Cedric? They're closer to me, right there behind you.
Oh, yes, Mom.
Yeah, that's him.
Let me sit down here at the table. Yeah, that's better. Let's see. First, I'm supposed to write a description. Here's a grocery pads, Mr. Lum. Now, let you buy, Cedric. Write a brief description of a familiar landscape, such as a picturesque valley or a wooded glen or a nearby hill. Well, that's easy.
What's a wooded glen?
I don't know. I'm going to take the nearby hill.
Oh.
I'll describe that over there back of your place.
You mean old Dead Stump Hill there?
Yeah, let's see now. Dead Stump Hill is a... What sort of a hill would you say that was, Abner? Big hill?
Well, no, it ain't exactly big. There's others around here bigger than that.
Yeah, but it ain't exactly a little hill neither.
No.
Because there's some that's littler than that.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe there's some that's more middle-sized, too.
Well, maybe you ought to just play safe and just say it's a hill and let it go at that long.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I believe it is. Just a hill.
Dead Stump Hill is a hill.
Yeah.
Seems like I ought to say a little more than that. What else can you recollect about it?
Well, let's see. I seen a rabbit up there once, but I don't reckon you'd want to put that in. More likely he ain't there all the time. I can't think of nothing else.
It's got dead stumps on it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
Put that down. Dead Stump Hill is a hill. It's got dead stumps on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it takes care of that first question, all right.
Hey, dog, Islam, I believe I could be a famous author, too, you know.
No, you couldn't, Abner, no. You ain't the illiterary type like me.
Oh.
Next, we have a question on dialogue.
Dialogue? What's that?
I think it means talking backwards and forwards one another.
Sounds like a log.
Says here, write a brief dialogue between a warden and a condemned convict. Or between an international jewel thief and a beautiful countess.
Doggy, that sounds interesting. Which are you going to take, a warden and a convict?
No, the others. I ain't never actually heard a warden talk.
Well, you ain't heard no beautiful countess talk neither, have you?
No, but if I ever met one, I know what to say to her.
You would, huh?
Let's see here now. I reckon the feller'd talk first, wouldn't he?
I reckon so. They say a woman always gets in the last word. Yeah.
All right, put him down first. He says in a very polite voice, "How do do, Mom?" How do do, Mr. Lum? I ain't talking to you, Cedric. This is a national jewel thief talking.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Say, Lum, what's his name going to be?
Yeah, I don't know.
How about that Quincy B. Chester of Clancy, Pennsylvania? I believe that'd be a good name for him.
No, this feller's name is, Mr. Brown.
Brown? That don't sound like no jewel thief.
Well, that's why he used it, so folks won't get suspicious of him.
Oh.
That ain't his real name, of course.
Now, what's his real name? Quentin B. Clester of Chester, Pennsylvania?
Abner, shut up. Let me get this dialogue wrote.
Oh. What do you got down there so far?
Well, so far, the jewel thief said, howdy do, Mom. And the beautiful Countess answers him and says, howdy do, sir.
Yeah, that's coming back at him.
Yeah. And then, well, that's all so far.
What's the matter? Has a cat got their tongue?
Well, they're bashful.
Oh.
You see, they've just met one another.
Uh-huh.
Besides, he can study, he's sort of figuring out how he can steal her jewels.
Oh.
Naturally, you can't talk to her about that.
Oh, no, he wouldn't want to bring that up.
And he fell in love with the beautiful Countess at first sight.
Well, good for him.
That's another reason he can't think of nothing to say. I know I never can.
Well, what do they do? Just stand there gawking at one another?
They ain't gawking. They're looking into one another's eyes. It's awful romantics right at this point.
Well, when does he steal her jewels?
He don't.
Huh?
The Countess is so beautiful that he just can't do it.
Oh,
Instead of that, he turns around and walks away, and she never sees him again in her whole life.
Well, don't he even say goodbye?
No, he don't want to do nothing to break the spell.
Such a story.
He just wants to recollect her in his memory and always see her that way. From then on, he never does no more jewel stealing the rest of his whole life, neither.
Well, reformed himself.
Sure is a pretty story, Mr. Lum. Yeah, I thought it was when Granny, I'm even better at this than I figured I'd be. Well, that takes care of that dialogue question.
Well, just a minute, Lum. Is that all you have to write down there? Just how-de-do, Mom, and how-de-do, sir?
Well, in this case, that's all. It'd ruin it to say any more.
My dog is, I know I could get to be a famous author.
Think I could, too.
Sure.
I'd write that good. How-de-do, Mom? How-de-do, sir? That's easy.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it might sound easy to you fellers, but it ain't. Takes a feller with a lot of aptitude. Yeah, you gotta know something about it to turn out stuff like that. It ain't the actual words that count so much, it's the thoughts behind them.
Well, me and Cedric studied up the thoughts behind that first one about that dead stump hill being a hill with dead stumps on it. You better put our names down on that aptitude test before you send it in.
I ain't gonna do no such a thing. I'm the only author around here.
Now, Lum, we just had as much to do with this
Abner,
as you
hush
did.
up and let me see what else I got to do here.
Hold
You're
up,
interfering with my
hold up.
lesson. You have now completed the Oxford Overnight Aptitude Test. All you have to do now to become a full-fledged writer, earning a handsome income.
Me and Cedric could do this work just as good as you can, Lum Edders, any day in the
Granny
week.
Abner, I believe you're right.
Huh?
Maybe you and Cedric are the author types after all. Here, I'm going to turn all this over to you fellas.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Where are you going, Lum?
I'm going back to the feed room. I'll just be the printer around here. You two can be the authors. I'll see you later.
Yeah, all right. Doggy, Cedric, we're authors. You hear that?
Wonderful world.
Yeah, good for us.
When do we start earning that big money? That's what I want to know.
Oh, well, we got to finish this here aptitude test first, I reckon. Let's see, we'll fill this out and sign our names. That's what we'll do. Where's the
Author
line we
now,
want?
ain't
Why,
I?
sure, we can write better than that.
Fun.
All you have to do now to become a full-fledged writer earning a handsome income...
Boy.
...is to mail the enclosed card which will entitle you to the Oxford Overnight Authors Training Course for the special rate of $117.50.
Well, Lum's literary ambitions are sure enough proving to be quite a headache, aren't they? And say, folks, if your activities today have caused you to have a real headache, there isn't a better time than right now for you to get acquainted with the surprising relief that Alka-Seltzer offers. You know, you feel better fast when you take Alka-Seltzer for headaches thanks to the unusually effective analgesic pain reliever which it contains. Remember, too, that if an upset, on-edge stomach is also a part of your busy day complaints, Alka-Seltzer can bring fast, really effective relief for this common ailment as well. Try it, won't you? Whenever a busy day leaves you feeling headachy and upset. Now, if you don't have a package of modern effervescent Alka-Seltzer tablets in the house, get one quickly from your nearest druggist.
was all well and good until Lum had to reach into his pocket to become a famous author and make money, wasn't it? 83 years ago, May 18, 1942, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Tomorrow, the Abbott and Costello, the Great Gildersleeve, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and Miss Grant Takes Richmond, starring Lucille Ball, an episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.